G'day, citizens. Welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by Non-Stop Bops and Algared. How is everyone this morning?
Yep.
Good, fresh, ready to go.
Mm.
Yeah. The beautiful Saturday morning in the lucky country.
He was here nice and early. Like, for once, he got here before I did. Why were you here so early, Algared?
I'm often here before you, X.
No, I forgot to tell you we were
But
starting an hour
he didn't
later.
tell me he changed the hour. So I turned up at our usual hour and going, what's X, lagger.
Yeah, because of daylight
Does that mean that
savings, we were meant to start at 7 our time, but I've decided to start an hour later, and I just forgot to tell him.
Yep.
And then I didn't.
An hour of hard prep.
Hey, look,
Algared?
I messaged him, but it was 11:25 p.m. but he was already asleep. But I messaged him. He was notified, but he was asleep. No, that's fine.
Yep.
Right.
But we have been thinking about starting later, looking at the analytics and looking at the times that best fit. So
yeah, we do need to try some other times. That's probably going to be some of the stuff we do over the next little bit. Is try some later times. We've tried some earlier times, like we tried the one around Citizencon. Where we started 4 a.m. last week.
No,
that was roughly about the same as what we normally do. Now, Algared and I were not big fans. Yeah. I wonder why. But no, yeah, not big fans. So yeah, all right. The bot is going. The bot is up, so we're all good on that front.
At present.
Yes. So, yeah. Right. So Algared, I think we just kick it straight into high gear. Actually, no, we'll give it a little bit because I want to get some people here and make sure some people here. But we've got to do your Algared's giveaway from the live stream. So if I kick this over here, what I've done is these are the people that hey.
It's excellent.
Got it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So these are the people that donated by their share, so to speak. So the number of tickets they have, right? But I thought that was kind of a bit boring and unfair. So I then redid it to be like this, right? So I think, yeah.
Same number of tickets.
Yeah, just spread out.
It's just spread out evenly. So, yeah. Yeah, and could he have got a less flattering picture of me? No.
It's a beautiful photo.
Yeah. It's ooh, who's gonna win? Ooh. I think we got someone already. Look, Admiral Groupus. What the fuck is the title? Yeah, see, say it really fast, and you should be able to figure it out. I'll give him a minute and see if he works it out on his own. Did you work it out, Admiral? I'll give you a couple minutes to look down here before I tell you. But yeah.
And Daz69, welcome to Twitch chat. Great to see you here. Hope you stay.
Yes. All right, first time chatter. Oh, nice to see you. Right. Yeah, there isn't really a lot to go over news-wise this week. Obviously, we had the patch go live. Hang on. Is this one? And essentially, we saw the rollout of the event, and I don't know. I'm not liking the grindiness of it already. I did a bit of it with you last night, Bops, but I think some people are not going to enjoy it too much.
I think basically it just comes down to if it's working or not. When it's working, if you're doing like the lower skill ones where you go into the locations, like the actual planet side locations, it's not so bad. But if it's not working and you're facing AI that are not doing what they should be, and then contested players that are snatching them out from underneath Ether.
That's it. Yeah.
And then you get, as you saw live on stream last night, when you get to the pad after battling through everything, you pull it out into your hands, a little data pad, and then it vanishes before your eyes. Yeah. It is soul crushing.
well, for me, it was the instant. It was the unintentional PvP. The very first one I went to, I went, oh, there's some NPCs, and I shot the shit out of them, and I got a crime stat 3. They were real people. They were dead, but they were former real people. I didn't know. I just thought I was killing NPCs. It forced me into PvP, and I didn't even know. And then I had a crime stat 3 that I had to go all the way up to Grim Hex and pay a whole bunch of fines and stuff. Because yeah, it was not fun. So after that, we went off to Pyro and did it in Pyro because then it doesn't count. So yeah, I'd actually say that you are probably preferable to do this in Pyro. overstand just because of legal reasons.
I realized something
how
we
to
didn't
push
touch
people
on
to
though.
pyro. That's what it is. How to push people to pyro.
What I was going to say is that we didn't actually hit the worm.
No.
What's the worm's name again? Execute?
Your Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your mum.
I wonder if Admiral got it yet. It sounds like he might have got it now. All of a sudden, yeah.
But we didn't actually have a chance to go and take on the worm on the patch. I don't know how it's running, if it's stable or not, at least on Australian servers. But it was we had heaps of fun with that on the PTU. So I'm keen to see how it runs on the PU.
Yeah.
Look, it'd been great if it runs smoothly at the moment, because you know that most patches, when they go live, they're always feel buggy and slow and horrid for a little bit, and then they get geared up and fixed and run smooth and run great. But yeah.
Well, I almost half expect that what we're going to get, or what we've got now, they'll probably give us a dot patch for AIE, and then around about the same time for the next month, I'd assume somewhere in there we're going to get a PTU or tech preview for the end of the year, because I think it's going to take that long to get shit sorted. That's just my expectation. I don't know if you guys are in the same ballpark. I don't know. What do you think? When do you think we're going to get that tech preview, so to speak?
I think that's gonna. So I remember Benoit having a bit of a chat during his Q&A, and he was talking about how the entirety of this year's patches were built off of one string of original patch, and obviously, yeah, exactly. And obviously, he needs to get whatever the new baseline patch is sorted, which is what that tech preview was a little while ago. I don't know if that was successful. I do remember Jared expressing some sentiment that they might be struggling a bit with splitting their audience between PTU, NDA stuff, Evacardi, tech preview, and they might not be getting the data that they need from that tech preview test that they did, or they got good data but they didn't get the amount that they needed. So
they only did it for 4 hours, and I was only able to make like a very short period of it because of it was like, well, in Australia, obviously I'm probably going to be the audience that misses out, so that's fine. You want to hit your biggest time, but I think they needed to run it for like 24, not 4. But that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Well, I think they'll probably run. I think everyone thinks engineering's coming next, and I think it will. But I think we'll get another tech preview for Vulcan first, I reckon, before we get the then tech preview for engineering.
Vulcan was included in with that engineering preview. They were both in it. Algared?
Yeah.
What about you, mate?
Yep. I haven't really had a chance to gather the info and really look in depth, but yeah, I know that they do want those tech previews. You'd want. They may have got good data, but they didn't get the quantity, not quality, the quantity of data they usually get, and that's one advantage of putting the patches out to PTU and opening it to everyone. They get that mass data, which usually means when it does get live, it's a lot smoother than it used to be. But yeah, it's
a tough one. Because also with what happened with Yogi's test, there was a lot of people that essentially it didn't even last half an hour before someone leaked the whole thing. I think he had a bit of unrealistic expectations on that though. Like it was going to get leaked. They all get leaked.
Part of that too is the exclusivity of it too. If you tell someone that they get something that no one else gets to see, that becomes that. One, it isolates from them, and two, it's that exclusivity of, I know something you don't know. And even if they weren't going to leak it, because obviously flight model PvP pilots want to share what they find immediately, I think that exclusivity was always going to have that leak on out, which sucks because I get it. Yogi wants to do some behind closed doors testing, but I mean,
it's hard. How can you get,
what's that line from, was it Roosevelt that said for 3 people to hold a secret, 2 of them are going to be dead? Or something like that.
Unfortunately, that's true. You know, like, and you want to get that wider testing because it gives you more data. But if you're trying to keep it secret because it's going to change or you're not sure how it's going to go, unfortunately can't trust the wider community to help you test because, it's clicks. I can put this up and I'll get clicks and or I get my minute of fame. And
no, it wasn't even that. It was just literally people talk to other people. It was just via the grapevine. Like people were just saying there was no videos, no anything. It was just literal people talking and telling other people. But that's all you need is someone that talks and
what's the old saying? Loose lips.
Loose lips and ships. And then also on top of that, if there's also, you got to think about human psychology. If someone's saying something incorrect and someone else has the facts, then they do everything they can to correct them. So you probably found that that the classic whisper on whisper, where someone said to someone, "Oh, it's this." Someone said, "No, it's this. No, it's this." And then obviously someone has come in to fact check War Thunder style, where they go, "Well, actually, the T-72 has this exact armor plating and leaks some military documents." So I think it was always going to be a complicated and very hard process for Yogi, and I can see what he wanted to do with it. But I don't think we'll have the same issues with the engineering tech preview because one, I don't think it'll be as locked down. They've shown us most of it anyway, and two, it's going to be more about not necessarily functionality, but function, as in does this work and how do we get this to work? Not is this working as a concept. So I'm really very excited.
First time Shadow. I believe they're one of your. They were in chat.
Maggie's is one of mine. Hi, Maggie.
Yeah.
Magic Magpie. Must be an Aussie or a name like Magpie.
They were in audio chat with us yesterday. I remember that. Nice to see you, Maggie. All right. I'm getting messages from people. I haven't had a single question come in.
No, not a single question. We're stream's over. Time to go.
Right, yeah, that was pretty quick. I'm assuming this is the sneak peek that you sent me. I can't mention your name because I'm on streamer mode on Discord. But I'm assuming they've sent me the sneak peek for this week, so we could probably go through this. I'm just going to assume this is the sneak peek. So bear with me. This one. I was going to say Paladin, but it's not.
Looks to me like a Perseus cockpit. Two big gunners. Oh, no, because the other seat's set right back. It's RSI. It's written on the door.
It's an RSI.
Maybe it is Perseus.
It could be a Perseus.
Where's it written on the door?
It's blurred in the center. It says RSI.
Oh, yeah, it must be the Perseus. No.
Well,
no, it is. It's the Perseus cockpit. I'm thinking it from the other way around. Yeah, it's the Perseus. It's the Perseus.
You can even see the RSI on the seats. Like the seats are RSI. They've even got RSI logos on the seats. It's on the door behind. It's a Perseus.
Are we excited for the Perseus, gents?
After how cool the Paladin is, I'm very I was excited for the Perseus, but I'm really intrigued. And the big, you always have this cautionary thing in the back of your head. Mine is the fire rate. I really think people are not ready for the fire rate. I can't imagine that thing's going to fire fast, and if it does, this thing's going to chew through ammo like crazy. Like we're talking shells that are like, how many shells? Maybe 6 to 8 shells in an SCU, and this thing has got like 96 SCU. It's going to chew through ammo, and not all that cargo can be for ammo.
I just think you've got to think of it in terms of you remember the video they had where they had the of the Perseus, and they showed the animation of the gun firing, and the gun firing was pretty slow, and that was before the rumored gun upgrade in size, which means the gun increase in size, the rate of fire is going to be slower as well. Yeah, which means it's even going to be slower than that animation they had. So,
and I knew I was wrong on the cargo there. It's 50. Yeah, so it's half of what I said. Yeah, and that's meant to be the same space as a rover. So like that's I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm pretty excited for the Perseus just to see how it changes gameplay flow with bigger ships. But everyone's talking about the Perseus being capital ship killers. As you know, I don't think it will be, not unless it's flown with a bunch of ships alongside. But more importantly, we've got our Perseus killer. The Paladin is in the game, and the Paladin is going to eat Perseuses for breakfast. So I'm pretty excited to see, 4 Perseuses jump in against an Idris, and then 1 Paladin mop all of those Perseuses. I'm pretty keen to see how the Paladin performs against them, because I think it's going to be monstrous against the Perseus. Perseus is a tiny ship. I think it's only got 1 size 3 or maybe 2 size 3s.
But where it comes from is a line here. I need to open the other one. I can't read that. It's too small.
You've got to remember, though, in the lore, it gets pulled back because the Perseus does take out 2 Vandal destroyers.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that line, Algared. Do you know where they call it the something killer? And it what's the line? There's an actual line where it talks about, and it actually tells you what it's like. It's not the capital ship killer. It's like the So this is the incident at Red's Ridge that Algared's talking about. Was built on limitations, first constructed in late on massive cannons obliterate the didn't blah 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 blah. When bringing the Perseus to Cillian market, retaining the shark-like silhouette, and it just that's it. There's a line here somewhere that I'm looking for, and it literally talks about it being this is full. Nope.
I would have thought giant killer, but but
it's something like that. It's something similar to that, but it implies that it really kills ships of its own size.
Yeah, well that's the thing, and we've been looking at how gimbaling are changing and turret speeds are changing. The turrets are going to move incredibly slowly. That's something people need to be ready. They're going to move very, very slowly. So something like a paladin's just going to whip past.
Here we go. Here we go. I found it. Subcap slayers.
Subcap slayers.
Subcap slayers. So subcap actually imply, and that's what the Perseus is, subcap. So it's like hammerheads, anything in the large category is what I would consider a subcap. But it's like the fact they should have just called it large ship killer, but they've dubbed it subcap, which is kind of mentally you kind of remember the word capital, not sub. But yeah, very misleading. And again, as you said, going from size 7s to size 8s. Remember how they slowed the turrets on the Redeemer at one point when they turned and stuff as well. And then we know the bigger the gun goes, the slower the fire rate. What I even used that trick against Bops in a game we were doing with Andy. Remember when we went from the Scorpius to the Hurricane? And the fire rate made all the difference because the guns went down in size and they didn't fire as far, but the fire rate went up. Because the fire rate went up, it put Bops in more trouble. It was in the same ship, but we beat him easier. Yeah.
As Bots said, that the turn rate of those turrets is going to be slow. You upsize those guns, not only slow fire rate on size 7 gun, then you just look at the Ares.
And to be honest,
fire rate on the Ares to give you an idea of the rate of fire on these, and then upsize it, put on a slow moving turret, and then you go,
They should be too, right? Like this is the thing. At the end of the day, this is a hammerhead sized ship, around about maybe a little bit longer.
I can hang on while you're talking about it.
Yeah, if you can get a comparison, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So it's not a big ship really. Hammerheads are big, but they're nothing comparative to say something like an Idris or something like a Reclaimer even. So we've got a small. It'll be pretty quick moving. It's got the guns it needs to punch at other ships within its class. If it's in a group, it can punch up against capitals, and that's what its desired role is, right? Like this isn't a ship that's supposed to go out and solo ships larger than it. It's a ship that's supposed to pick on ships that are the same size as it, annihilate ships that are smaller than it, that are too stupid or too slow to get out of its way, and then fly in a squadron against bigger targets, i.e. Polaris or anything around that size class, Idris and whatnot. So it's really, really, really exciting. I'm keen to see how it changes up the gameplay. I've obviously pledged for Perseus day one, like I think every single person in the entire community did. It's clearly the coolest looking subcap capital. I think there's a lot of excitement for it, and I'm really keen to see how the community takes it when it does drop, because I think some expectations may be a little bit too high for it, but of course they will be, because the ship looks so spectacular and it's such a exciting ship to come to the game. There's some that drop that are really, really nice additions, and then there are some that are gameplay can be centered around in a game changer. So yeah, there you go. They're just like, it's smaller than a hammerhead. There you go.
Yeah, I'd have said it's roughly the same size as a hammerhead. But I like the way that in the description they in the manual they said it had shark-like features. Now the hammerhead is our hammerhead shark, so this would be our killer shark. You know, so yeah, or a great white. But I remember when the Perseus or when the Polaris and the hammerhead first came out, we said these would be a great pairing. You know, the hammerhead takes out the fighters, the Polaris takes out the big stuff. But I actually think an even better pairing is the Perseus and the hammerhead together. Perseus with its big guns, hammerhead with its anti-fighter guns. I think they'd really cover each other really well and actually meld well. The only problem is hammerhead's crew count is like massive in comparison. So yeah.
Super excited to see how gunships play against some of these ships too, because we've already seen, and you've been in some of the testing, how quickly a paladin can chew through something like a hammerhead. It does it in no time at all. And I believe the hammerhead will have.
I was surprised how fast it went through that Redeemer. Not Redeemer, so the Reclaimer. It was a Reclaimer last night. It just went. It chewed through it. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, that's my point, right? Is that the Paladin is tearing through Reclaimers and hammerheads. That's what gunships are designed for, right? So you've got your heavy fighters, which are going to tear through light fighters and keep medium fighters off of these bigger ships. But gunships are designed to bring power to things that are slightly above their weight class. A gunship takes on things like hammerheads. It takes on things like Perseuses. So I'm really keen to see how the other gunships play once the Perseus is out. Will we see more Redeemer, or will we see more?
I think because of the crew count on the hammerhead, right? You're probably far more likely to see a Paladin and a Perseus going out together, because that's 10 people, where you need 9 just for the hammerhead. So, do you know what I mean? Like, it just it fits so much better to take a Paladin and a Perseus. And even then, you've seen yourself, Bops, that the Paladin is super effective with even 2 or 3 people. The
question with the Perseus, and it's that question we can't answer. It's the same type of question we had with Paladin in terms of how does armor impact that. We know the Perseus is like super heavy armored, and that part of the equation is a bit we just can't work out yet.
Armor. So, good point.
How is the armor going to impact the survivability of a Perseus when it's going into combat? How will that negate the effect of the Paladin or the other gunships fighting it? So they're the things we don't know, and we won't know that until we get armor in. But yeah, it's an interesting ship. I think used in the right hands, it will do. It'll hurt capital ships with those size 8s or size 7 guns. And the nice thing about large ships, and I think the nice thing with large ships and capital ships is they are slower moving, which means slow firing guns will be able to do that a lot better.
Oh wait,
so
never mind. I was on the wrong channel. Piggles. Right, questions are working. I thought they were dead, but they're not. We've got 3 questions so far, so not a lot of questions this week. Apparently, everyone got all their questions answered. This isn't good. I didn't believe that for a second. But anyway. Right. All right, Algared, we're at about 100 people now, so I think we can do your draw now. So I'll go over this one more time real quick. So these are all the people that helped Algared get a new GPU, because his GPU. Well, you tell people what you've got.
Well,
I
had an Aorus 1080 Ti graphics card, and it was about old. It was starting to die,
2017 it came out. Put in perspective, so it was like 8 years old. Yeah.
And even when I'd updated the computer, I think it had survived 2 computer upgrades, and it was just cost of graphic cards. It's still working. We'll put it off. But it started to play up, and so the community graciously has aided the purchase of a Aorus 570 graphics card. So that's what I'm currently using. So this is the number. A couple of shout outs. Triconto, massive amount. Joy Pop, John Citizen. But quite, I'm just humbled by the by the amount of support. But we're not going to do it this way. We're actually going to put it so every slot is exactly the same size. The same number of tickets are there.
I think what Algared is trying to say is thank you. That's the word you're trying to say. I know you're stumbling over your words. I can see you're trying to find it, and that's the word you're trying to say. Thank you very much.
I'm most humbled by the generosity. So yes, thank you.
That was literally what he said to me. He said, "Man, this is insane. Like the amount of people helping me." Yeah, I could probably open the message if you want me to, but it was words to those effects. Yeah. But
yeah, so we're going to do that, and what we've got is a paladin.
Yep.
I believe it was a paladin.
And there was a guy in chat at the end of Citizencon that basically thought I was buying the ship for myself, but what he didn't understand is I'd factored a cheaper price into the ship, so people didn't have to donate as much money. And so he got all uppity and saying he was going to unsub. We're probably never going to see him again. But I just wanted to address that real quick because I'd already factored in cheaper pricing into what Algared needed to try and get the ship cheaper, so people didn't have to pay as much money. And because Algared went and brought the ship, it made it. You knew it as soon as you brought it, didn't you?
It stuffed up the budget
because you only had $950 left, and you were like, "Hang on, I need like another $200," and it was like,
and it's going, "Well, what do you mean?"
Yeah.
But all's good.
Yeah, we got it all fixed. Got a refund from CIG, and then I brought it on the other end. So you'll get it gifted from me. But
as a paladin, I think we did say if you were here when we drew it, we'd chuck in a skin, but I can't remember whether that was for that or for
no.
Giveaway, which we're also doing today.
It's usually for everything. So we'll do that anyway. So if you're here when we draw this, we're now at 104 people. Is there anything you want to say before? Because I wish you could click the button, but I've got to click the button. So
I'm like I said, I am well and truly humbled. I suppose, given that we were 165 tickets, I know we originally said 150, but people were buying 5 and 10 and
so that was like where you cut it off. Yeah, you cut as soon as it went over, he just cut it off. But that's kind of where it was. So yeah, 165. So. All right, is there anything you want to say, Aaron? You just don't want to click it, or
No. I was thinking maybe wait until we had a few more people, because 160, probably 150 people. We don't have 150 people here yet, so maybe wait a little bit longer. But other than that,
okay, we can wait if you want to wait. Well, let's take a question then. We'll take a question. You want to wait? It's your thing.
Shinobi trip. Yep. We'll wait a little bit. I don't mind waiting. We can spread it.
We've got
our 2 draws out.
So I mean, we're going to do 2 though, and that's what I'm aware of. And I haven't set up for the second one either, so that's going to be thanks, Algared.
While we're going through the first question, you can set up for the second one in the background.
Yeah.
You're so good at doing things on the fly. We know that.
Yeah, I hate doing shit on the fly.
Howdy, everyone.
Hey, Grim. There's Grim. How you doing, Grim?
Hey, Grim. Welcome.
Hope you're all well. I just stopped in to talk about the Perseus for a little bit. I'm just kidding.
No, that's all right.
Well, we can go back to the Perseus.
He did send me. He sent me this image that I haven't opened yet. So this kind of, I think you're trying to reinforce that this is the cockpit.
It's a minor thing. I only have one criticism about the Perseus.
Yeah,
and it's something that CIG did on the Polaris as well. It's obviously they've moved to these sort of floating seats mounted on the ceiling, sort of Carrick style, where all the controls are on the seats and all that kind of stuff. And I really wish they would do what they did in the concepts for the Perseus and Polaris, where the bridge had like big bridge consoles. But it seems like other than the Idris, they've kind of moved away from that. I hope the Pioneer sticks with its big bridge consoles, but it's just something I've noticed. I've wondered if it's something to do with visibility or other things, and CIG just is trying to move away from it. But a lot of their ships have bridge consoles in the concept art, not floating chairs.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too. So it's got the traditional kind of Polaris consoles instead of these big chunky ones. And I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of agree. Like they've probably done it so they don't have to redo stuff. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
it's a minor thing.
But being an older ship, it would have been cool to have that chunky feel. And that isn't that something I said to you, Bops, when we were in the Paladin. I love how chunky there's the massive console in the middle of the, like when you turn over and look at the other person in the Perseus, there's this massive console and it feels old and clunky, and I actually like that. And and that's obviously not going to be the case here.
And I would love to see, on the older ship designs, and the Perseus is basically an older ship design, just updated with slot, newer tech at times. But it'd be nice to see that kind of old design flow through, so you could see, this is an older design. It's not a brand new spec.
I was saying that last night, Algared. I said pretty much that exact sentence and sentiment to to execute just last night. I said the Polaris is an old skip. It's an old ship. It's been around for hundreds of years. So let's get more of that like antiquity into the design of the ship. So Grim, I agree with you. The consoles are absolutely something I'd love to see. Two things that I can think of as to why we're not getting the consoles. First is, like you said, simply design flow and visibility. You're going to have issues with visibility if those big consoles are in the way. To be clear, I want the big consoles, but there are issues with visibility, and they take up space in when they're trying to use the spaceship effectively. You can see that in, say, for example, the MISCs when you get those really big consoles at the front. And the second is they're moving to, and we've seen this heaps with like fighters. It started really with the Scorpius a few years ago. They're moving to heads-up displays that are cast from your helmet rather than having the information displayed on the big consoles in front of you. So they can have the short-form MFDs, which is usually 1 or 2, and then the rest of it is usually cast to your helmet. That's the trend I'm noticing anyway.
But in contrast to that, if you've got a design that's supposed to be an old design, you'd kind of expect it to have that flow.
100%.
The one I can think of is the same reason why the Phoenix quarters, where the desks are and the chairs are in the middle, and the spaces are just so huge. And it's the same as the crouch spaces in the MSR. I think it's a pathing. One of the things that comes down to me is a pathing issue, like the space for NPCs or people to walk around. It's why we have crouch space in MSR, not crawl spaces, because when you're crouching, you're smaller than if you're lying down, and that makes moving around things a lot easier, so you don't run into geometry and get caught up in it.
Yeah, functionally, I love all those reasons. I think that's a big part of it. I think the visibility thing, absolutely key. From a Vive standpoint, and it's not that CIG doesn't do this. They did it on like the Star, on the Crusader ships, always have those big consoles up in front of them, and the chairs slide back and stuff. I think on the big warships, though, especially, to me, there's this idea of like, it's feeling like important to sit on a bridge seat on the Perseus or the Polaris or some big warship, and there's this idea that when you step onto the bridge of that ship, you're stepping onto the bridge of the Perseus, right? I suppose it should be kind of a big moment. And there's other ways for them to solve that, though, and I do think CIG takes steps to do that. It can be done through lighting, or, like on the or on the Polaris, where when you walk in, there's these right past the radar globe or scanning globe, there's like the stairs that lead down to the bridge deck. And there's sort of a prominence there when you walk down those stairs, you're walking up, to the bridge seats. There's something kind of special there. There's other ways for them to solve it. I just don't want them to lose that vibe of like, oh, wow, I'm walking onto a serious capital ship here. You know what I mean?
So what it's missing, right? And I've seen it a few times in ships now, is this feeling of history. And one of the ones I would explain, it kind of happened during the week. Remember when I was talking to Andy about Bops about the Hurricane versus the F8? And I asked him what the difference was, and he didn't have an answer. And I said, well, it's 600 years of lore. And he kind of just, I don't know if he actually got what I was saying, but that's the same thing here. This thing's old. I should get in this, and it should feel. And I'm not even talking about like functional, right? Say they were exactly the same ship, but it was 600 years apart. This one should just feel older. It should feel dated. And I know they're meant to. They say in the thing, Algared, they talk about like bringing it up to standard and stuff like that. So. Maybe
they've shown they can do that. I mean, you guys know I love PvP. I spend all my time in fighters. If you jump into a Gladius, it's like jumping into a piece of history. You hear it grumble and growl, and all the big slappy consoles that you deal with on the way through. Like that ship is a dated ship as well. They've just pull out the internals and put new internals into it in the lore. But you get into something like arrow, and it's flick, flick, boom, up it powers, and away you go. And I know the arrow is not the newest ship in lore, but you can tell that there is that separation of like time in between those two fighters. So they've shown that they absolutely have the skill sets to do it, and they may just do it. We're looking at a single sneak peek, okay? So with this is conjecture in its own way, but I would like to see, like you said, a lean more towards that classic RSI style, something maybe more akin to, say, the Constellation, than something that's more modern, like a Zeus or a Polaris.
Well, getting to your point, Grim, the other way that they could have gone about this is if it's retrofitted, where they've essentially like a brand new paneling where they've pulled something out and then they've put a newer, slimmer version in, but then they've just like got cables going along the wall where they've kind of retrofitted it in. That would have been cool as well. Like it looks jerry-rigged is what I'm trying to say. Things like, so what you got to pick which way you're going to do it. You're going to have an old in the past, or it's an old thing they've updated to the new, not just ease of access.
Not something that looks brand new.
Yeah. Like put the tell the story, tell the story with your model.
And this is one of those things that to probably 80% of the players, it may not matter at all.
No,
Maybe
it won't.
superficial. It's just when so much work goes into the ships, you want every little piece to be great. And again, this is such a minor criticism, but like even some things. This is why I think it's so important that CIG does do that detail pass on the inside of the Polaris, which I think they still are going to do from the last I heard. But like when I walk up to that bridge deck of the Perseus, when I get to that door there that we're seeing in the image, I would like on the other side of that door, when you're walking up to it, for it to have decaling that denotes the importance of the door you're about to walk to. So maybe it says authorized entry only bridge, all those type of decals that sort of express the importance of the station you're going to hold. Same thing with other sections of the ship, engineering, the torpedo room, wherever the case may be. And again, I'm not saying the CIG doesn't do that. It's just I like when they lean into that. One of the biggest ones would be the Pioneer concept that CIG walked us through last year. The drone control center. You remember that part of the ship where you control the drones from? It's a massive console, but for once there's like one chair and then this massive console, which I hope CIG keeps, because there's this idea of like, oh, you sit at this chair and you are controlling army of extra large drones that can build a space station. You know what I mean? There's an importance there. So I hope they lean into that and continue to do that with ships. Again, I want to see the rest of the Perseus. I'm super excited about this ship. Just one thing that stuck out to me about it.
You're going to a robot mode, man. You took it so fast, you turned into a robot.
Sorry.
Algared, did you want to speak before I do? Because I've been yapping away.
No.
Well, what I was going to say is the Perseus. This has just hit me now. I was just looking at that Perseus bridge in the leak there and going, geez, that's bloody tiny. That is the smallest bridge, one of the smallest bridges in the game. But that just leads into that discussion we had before about the Perseus is just not a big ship. It's about hammerhead size. And so it has more room for its bridge because the bridge sits on top. But that is a tiny, tiny little bridge. You can be bumping shoulders with people in there. And again, it just speaks to the sizing of the ship. In my mind, and I'm sure many others, we've seen all these images of this big Perseus slamming through hammerheads and whatnot, but that cockpit size is about the size of a hammerhead if you look at that image, and a hammerhead's cockpit, which is a pretty tight fit in its own way, bridge I should say rather than cockpit. So yeah, it's just odd. That really brings the scale of the ship into perspective, that one little image.
The other thing you do notice on that image is that underneath the bar you can actually see consoles. So there are consoles there, but they don't feel.
I'm not sure that's true, Algared. But it's hard to tell.
To me, that looks like console, but it still feels
probably
empty.
Right. Yeah.
Still
Well, again,
empty,
you go to this one that Grim sent us, and
that feels
way cooler to me.
Yeah.
So
I think that looks like a lip at the front of the floor.
Oh, nice to see you, Pickles. Good to say hello before.
It does look like the bridge in the new image there. It does look like the bridge space is opened up a bit more. I have been wondering if maybe the Perseus has grown a little bit when I saw this image, just because it does seem a little bit more spacious.
You tell me, Grim, because this looks flatter and wider to my brain than this. I could be wrong, but that doesn't feel quite as wide. Maybe I'm wrong.
They can expand this as much as they want, though, because it's sort of a
Yeah.
separate section of the ship, right?
Ah,
Like the bridge sits
wait.
up above the ship,
Yeah.
so they can sort of pull it out.
It's the way the glass goes. That's why it feels wider. Yeah.
And in that last sneak peek image of the Perseus they showed, which was the exterior where you saw the escape modules, you can see a little bit of the side of the bridge canopy glass in that one, and it does look like they've like bowed it out a little bit to give it some more horizontal space.
Yeah.
Axis is asking the size of it. It's 100 meters.
Yeah.
According to this dodgy hanger link, it could be really it could be really off the cuff. This thing, it's I don't know. The
Although,
guy that
to be
makes
fair,
it is super
to
dodgy.
be- Yeah, he is dodgy. To be fair, I did just have my first meeting yesterday regarding STAR-JM Fleet Viewer version 2. So more to come. More to
There
come.
you go.
Big
And
things.
in fairness to the dodgy website here, but the measurements of the ships can only be based on what we can either get from in-game stuff or stuff from CIG. So it's not made up. It's just stuff we get from or stuff that he can get from CIG or in-game. So yeah.
Oh, he does very, very well. I just like.
Are we excited to see a proper big RSI ship besides the Polaris? Because obviously the Polaris came out half-baked. There's a lot that just wasn't finished, and we've been seeing them detail like the color strips along the side, and so they're moving through it. I'm expecting this because I know CIG know how anticipated this ship is. That's why they've waited so long, and it's why they did, even though the Polaris is the capital, there's a reason they did the Polaris before they did the Perseus. They wanted to have all their ducks in a row because they know the community loves this ship.
They even want to put the Galaxy in the middle too, so that shows you how refined they wanted this to be. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
so I'm keen to see.
We've heard some.
Go ahead, Grim. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we've heard some rumors. I don't know how much stock I put into them, but we have heard some rumors that there's possibly an exterior detail pass that could happen to the Polaris to actually pull back on the amount of detail. I think part of the reasoning there was that there's a little bit of it becomes a little garbled at distance, even with the LODs. And I, as someone who absolutely loves the Polaris exterior, I think it's CIG's like shining work. I would still be okay with even a slight pullback on detail. But it would be interesting to see what other large RSI capitals look like and where they borrow from, because we can't forget that the Bengal is one as well. And for anyone that's seen the interior of the Bengal, it's actually not much different than the current Polaris. It's really sparse and kind of brutalist. There's not a lot of decaling and texture work. It's
very
pretty
smooth.
Impressive. Very smooth
and angular and color coded, isn't it?
Exactly. Very good. Description. Very kind of smooth and angular. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, but real quick, does anyone have that image that they had from the monthly report? Because I actually want to bring that up, because that was a concern of mine, that it was essentially, here it is. Right, I found it. Hang on. I'll bring you over.
And sorry, I didn't mean to pull from your questions, by the way.
But no, it's fine. It happens all the time.
We've got like 7 questions total so far. So, the longer we stretch this out, the better.
So long story short, I was worried it's going to lose that plated look. I think it started to get too garbled, a little bit like the Polaris as well. But I'm very cautious that we need to return to Bops. So we'll come back to the plating in a minute. But Bops, you were saying something, or have you completely?
No. Grim basically essentially finished my train of thought.
What a rude asshole he is!
No, that's
rude
good.
of him.
That was my exact point. I was frowning because I was looking. You could see my frown is because of my discontent with this image. I agree with you. The Polaris should be smooth and shiny and chrome, not whatever this is.
This should be plated.
Not a deal for me.
I saw it as giant armor plates. Like, again, if we go back to, I'm just on the wiki here, right? So I'm going to go back through. Look, this is concept, but see how it looks plated? Like, it just doesn't feel plated anymore. Like this. The
problem for me is this is exactly what we were talking about before. Is I want that antiquity in design, right? And this screams to me modern RSI, not RSI from 500 years ago.
This is a Zeus. This is a Zeus.
Yeah, exactly.
And
to be fair, go ahead, Algared.
If you've got a ship that is heavily armored and you bring it back because it's heavily armored, and you're just adding features to increase its ability, like increasing its power or increasing its shielding or doing other stuff, but it's still got that heavy armor, you still expect to see that transition
Design
into the
language,
model you get in game. And as you said, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like components and little bits added on the edge without armor. And it feels.
Algared, you know the lore better than I do, but like, you know, Jace Aerospace to Anvil, that's what this needs to be, right? And it's like what I was saying about the Hurricane and the F8. The Hurricane is a Jace Aerospace design, as is like the Gladiator, so they feel this old and clunkiness. But then you go jump into something like the F8 or the Arrow, that's their newer ships, right? And there is a 600-year design break between a lot of those ships, right? And it's the same thing here. This is, I think, how old is this? 800 years or something like that? It's ridiculously old.
I'd have to go back and have a look.
Yeah, but it's something ridiculous, right? It's I could probably go into the wiki and it's probably right there. But the point I'm trying to make is this doesn't feel old. And I know they're saying that they've updated it to modern standards, but I think that's a really, really missed opportunity. I think the plated design would have been way cooler personally. But
the only thing that's important to keep in mind about this particular image is, from everything I know, this is the LOD 0 image, so not the final art image. And if you all remember, at the original Invictus, when they showed the exterior of the Polaris, that was LOD 0. That's why people had trouble loading it at times, because it wasn't optimized. When that thing got the final art, it did have a little bit more of a texture differential across different panels and stuff. So we're yet to see what the true exterior looks like. But, you know, I think from a level of detail standard, this is there. But from a texture, like a material standpoint, we don't know. Like, is this like matte metal? Is it hard, shiny metal? Is it, you know, that kind of thing we haven't seen yet. They could lean into it there and make it feel a little bit more armored. I don't know.
And it probably doesn't have the final coloring either. It doesn't have the breakup. Like if you go, and I'm just trying to simplify it into dumb terms. You can see, well here, like, see how it's kind of black and then it's kind of silver down here. We don't have that here. It's all one flat color. So.
Yeah. But this gets me excited just because you were talking before about the obviously this is the classic RSI to say the Polaris is the new RSI. You just got me super excited because you know how much I love my Anvil ships. I own almost every single one. All versions of the Hornet, from the Mark 1 military all the way through to the Mark 2. I love them all so much. But I just got this spring of joy fly through me at the thought of an Anvil capital and or subcapital that is from antiquity, comparative to a new Anvil. And the reason I bring it up too is we were doing a walk around the Paladin, and the Paladin's design language comparative to previous entries into the Anvil sphere is phenomenal. You've got the hexagon doors, which are beautiful. We were walking through it and seeing the red lighting, the blue lighting, the green lighting, the way that the floors were built out. Like, everything about that Paladin screams that they've explored the Anvil design language way more. And I'm so excited to see what unfolds. And
everything you just said is what I was trying to get out in the bloody review, and I couldn't get it out. But that's everything I was trying to say.
I do like some of these ships come from. I mean, another ship that's really old in lore is the Nautilus. I think it's like 400 or 500 years old as well. So
now I am going to cut in. I'm going to say thank you, Cody Cooper, for that $5 super chat. Most appreciative. He says, "Hi, all and love from Texas. Did I miss the contest? Not yet. We deliberately held it off just to let other people get there.
Algared pulled rank, and so we're waiting until.
So we're waiting. We're giving people a little bit more time to get here. So, but thanks for that super chat. So now we can go back to the conversation. One of the things I do like, and it goes against what we were saying about the Polaris, not the Perseus Bridge being kind of dumbed down, or not dumbed down, but losing its desks and everything else. Is when I saw the picture, my initial thought was that looks very much like a Connie Bridge, even though I knew it wasn't a Connie Bridge. It just, the way the seats were, the way they were just no console, it just felt like a Connie Bridge. And so it gives you that transition. So I can see what they've done, but I still would like to see that kind of armored, that large console type setup.
Did anyone,
as a transition.
I've just realized, did anyone notice that they used essentially the same picture with the Apollo? For the sneak peek for the Apollo.
Yep.
I just picked up on that. Sorry.
Someone said before in chat too that we could be, and I'm not going to say yes or no, but we could be misinterpreting that leak, and it could be the Hermes. I saw it going through in chat earlier because the way the seats are set up are very Apollo-like, at least the front two. So someone in chat said, "Is it a Hermes?" And it could be. I mean, it could be. I can see like the side doors. There could be the beds tucked in on the left side of the image, right side of as you're coming through the door. I don't know. It'd be missing the center. I mean, the center console.
It would have
maybe?
to.
I don't know.
It would have to be like, you know how you have new cockpits for the Connies. It would have to have a new cockpit for the Hermes. Possible. But the other thing I'd throw in there is the door's completely different at the back. The beds are completely gone. There's way too many changes.
I'm just reading out what I saw in chat.
Yeah. It's a nice theory. But I doubt it.
It's as we always say. Here's 6 meters of rope. You know,
Yeah.
how much do you need?
Yeah.
So,
But the bridges are always when especially a big ship, gets revealed. It's I sort of pay attention to some of the conversations of what people in my own community talk, react to and stuff. And on the big ships, the bridge is one of the big things people initially react to. And so it'll be interesting to see how other big ships that we know are coming are going to get figured out in regards to the bridge, how closely they stick to the concept. Things like the Kraken, the Odyssey is one that people talk about a lot because I think it has like 4 seats across the bridge. It's got like a really horizontally spread out bridge. It's an important centerpiece to a big ship like that. You know what I mean? That's where everything is going to be happening. And so it's a minor thing, but I get the arguments for and against certain decisions like that.
Apparently,
all you've got to do is move around. I know if you're from my community, you know how much I hate the Freelancer, and all you have to do is walk around the bridge of the Freelancer with those massive consoles and try and move around with one other person on it, and then be glitched through the wall and pushed out the side of the ship because the console knocks you in the wrong way. So I would hope they've learned a lot since the Freelancer, and they've shown they have, right? They've shown they have with all of the ships they've released and how much they're progressing. But big consoles, I think, have provided maybe too many issues for them in the past, so they might be stepping away from them. I would love to see a return to the big chunky console now, with all of the lessons they've learned in the past. I think really
and to be fair, there's some issues with the Star Lancer's big bulky dash. It like in some of the visibility, with the MFDs on that particular dashboard bother me. So I totally get it.
but on the bigger ships, you've got to admit that the way the bridge comes across, the way the consoles make the bridge feel, it gives gravitas to the ship, and that's the kind of thing people often react to, isn't it? This feels like a capital ship. It feels like a combat ship. It feels like a
Polaris nails that. The Polaris nails that. The rear seats in the bridge, they have the big consoles that you sort of walk past. It looks awesome.
And we've even heard that they may move the torpedo seat up to the bridge in the Polaris. Again, adding more prominence and importance to that location on the ship. So sorry, execute.
No, sorry. I just want to show you this. So this is the actual email. They've updated them. This is all very snazzy. But the other thing I wanted to point out was Algared's going to want to point this out. Crux Cup, which Algared is involved
Cargo
in.
Olympics.
Yeah, so that's in there. The calm before command.
That's not a Hermes.
No, I don't think that's
Not a Hermes. No,
not a Hermes.
not a Hermes at all.
But someone messaged me and said there was a survey, and that's what I opened it for, looking for. But I don't see the survey they're talking about.
Scroll up.
Survey. Where it says survey.
Down.
There's a big heading that says survey.
Beneath the ships.
Underneath the ships. Oh shit! I'm just
right
blind.
there.
Yeah, thanks. Right. So what's this? Let's have a look. Weekly Friday. What was your favorite ship announced at Citizencon? Bang.
If you don't click Gray's Market Shiv, I will fight you.
Yeah,
all right?
This is my survey. You go do your own bloody survey.
You can do this. This is what X is reckoning is.
Yeah.
I
Most at IAE. Oh god. Shit.
You most want to say.
I love a good survey.
I'm probably going to go
Grace
Consolidate.
Market's right there. You can just click Grace Market. It's right there, right?
No.
Just know you'll be heavily judged no matter what you pick.
Well, I love them all. Like I love them all, but like I really want to see.
You got to pick one though.
I want to pick Consulted Outland because I want to see those ships that are in between the Pioneer and the Nomad to complete my own conspiracy theory. That's why I want it. No, I'd be happy with anyone, to be honest. I don't like even Origin if we got some shop ships. I'd you know, but
I can live without RSI because it feels like we've had RSI a lot. I wouldn't mind Kruger. I want more Kruger.
Execute.
Mm.
You're a Kraken owner. You need to put Drake down because we need that update.
I could put so many. Realistically, you know me honestly. Like Algared, you know me honestly. Like I am not biased here at all. I could pick anyone, and I feel if I'm picking one, I'm playing favorites. But the only reason I'd pick Consulted Outland is because I want those two ships. And again, if I did this survey next year, it would change as well. So don't think I'm not playing favorites. I'm just doing this because that's the one I want to see. Which color of ship paint do you want to see
yellow
more of?
It's yellow.
Black.
You know it's yellow.
Black. No,
it's yellow.
Ink, black
if you know
and red.
Black and red.
Black and red. Can I pick red as well? No. Oh, fuck off.
That's black.
They should have put a choice in there for you, Execute, that said any color that's not behind a paywall. That would have been the perfect choice for you.
Yeah.
If you mix black and red, you kind of get yellow anyway, don't you? So why don't you just click yellow there for me?
What type of physical... Well, the problem with the mouse pads now is they used to ship them out of Asia. Now you ship them out of the United States, and it costs as much for shipping to Australia as it does for the mouse pad. It's it's almost $60 for a mouse. It's almost $100 for a mouse pad. This mouse pad I have in front of me costs $16. And I'm converting it to Australian, so you understand, right? But why would I buy one off you when I can buy this one? I could buy multiples of this for 16. You've just priced Australians completely out of the market. There's just no point us doing it.
And I'd be honest, I'm interested in all the merch they do, because I like seeing all of it. Doesn't mean I necessarily buy it. Depends on what it looks like.
Yeah, I think their merch is very lacking, to be honest.
I think the best merch they have are their mouse pads, but yeah.
Yeah, but then again, they've done some really weird things, like who thought of doing what was it, the Pico flippers? And here's the other thing, like you're talking about people that are spending hundreds of if not thousands of dollars on virtual spaceships, and you're bringing out bags and jackets that are made of cheap polyester. Make a real leather jacket. Or and even charge $500 for it. People will buy that shit. They'll pay for quality. But you're bringing out this cheap little crappy tacky. Nobody's interested in that. You want quality stuff. But yeah, it might cost $500, but people will pay that if it's really, really. I don't know about you guys, but you know what I mean. Like we're paying a premium for these spaceships, are we not? Am I wrong in this thinking, or am I completely backwards?
No, you're right. I don't buy a whole lot of gamer merch myself, but as you know, I play with a bunch of bands and do a lot of musical stuff, and merch matters. Like if I know back in the day, for example, this band from Australia called Violent Soho, if I ordered merch from them, I knew that I was getting like high quality, thick, dense cotton shirts that I could wear for 10 years. Whereas another band, if you get cheap merch from them, you still supported the band, and that's what you're there for. But if it's cheap and it comes apart quickly, it sort of taints your perspective of the people you bought it off of. And I think it's the same. You know, if I'm buying that Zeus jacket, I want it to last for 10 years, not 3. You know?
So we saw this at Citizencon, and this is just like cheap like it looks way better in the photos, right? But when you actually see it in real life, it's just like it's like a man-made jacket. It's made out of cheap shit. And if that had been...
It looked almost plasticky, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It looked like plastic. Under the lighting, it was quite reflective. And you can tell here they've turned the lights down so it doesn't look as reflective to make it look better. But again, at $125 this turns out to almost be, I think it was about, by the time it was delivered, it was $200 Australian. Now for $200 Australian, I can a leather jacket over there that I got from like on eBay or whatever, and that costs less than this, right? And I'm just trying to put this in perspective, right? You are fighting every other thing out there. Go make a proper leather one and charge the money for it. People will pay for the quality, right? Don't make cheap tacky shit. This is all. I feel like I'm repeating myself, and I know I am, but yeah.
I mean, Star Citizen players have proven that They're beyond whale. They're
We're beyond sane.
They're Cthulhu when it comes to the metaphor of spending money as sea creatures. So if you give them a good leather jacket, if they're spending $1,600 on an Idris, they'll buy a $150-$200 quality leather jacket for sure. So.
And it's the same. It's the same thing with a lot of their stuff. They've gone for cheapness over quality. Like they did it with the hoodie, right? They went for a better quality hoodie, but then they put these branded strings on it so it says Star Citizen on it, but it's got printed labeling onto the thing, so in less than 12 months that's all going to wear off and look like shit. They just keep taking corners with things, and it's ruining certain things. They need better quality caps. And I'm not, if you're going to charge extra, then charge extra but give quality. And it's the same thing with the t-shirts, Algared. Like, remember that Polaris shirt we had, and it was made out of that special fabric and it felt amazing. And now these shirts, they're not made out of the same shit, and they feel completely inferior.
I've got a whole pile of their shirts, and some of them are really, really good quality, and some are just subpar.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Keep the quality level up.
I've had a similar experience. I found that the quality level in different bits of merch has been incredibly inconsistent.
Yeah.
As an example, from what you've got on screen right now, I bought those Squadron 42 socks. And they're really nice. I've been wearing them quite a lot, and they're still really soft. Like they're quite nice socks. I mean, they're pretty pricey, but they're very nice socks. But then you go and look at the jacket, and you just think, I'm not going to wear that. You know, I had an old Arena Commander shirt when they were selling those. Yeah. And what was it? It was all printed on, so it came off in like 6 months from washing it.
Just picturing Piggles walk around his house strutting like with these little hooves and. I'm a sock model. Look at me go.
Yeah,
some of it's, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Some of it's very, very like subjective too. Like everyone was telling me, "Oh, you got to get the Nautilus shirt is great quality and this and that," and I got it, and it's so thick. Like I like heavier, thicker T-shirts, and it's really thin, so it's like I don't like it, you know. But on the flip side, I heard so many bad things about the desk mats or the mouse pads, and I got the Drake one, and it's awesome. Like it's held up really, really nice. It's hard to. Yeah,
don't have a thing to complain about the desk mats other than the price is ridiculous. Like, look, I'll show you from like, because if I look, because this is how it works, right? And again, this is an outside the US problem. I know it doesn't translate right, but if I add this right, as soon as I set like it realizes I'm from Australia, look at the price go up. It literally adds
basically double the price.
It adds it adds because this is like $5 for you guys, but for us it's literally the price of the mouse pad. It's ridiculous.
So much money for shipping. I've never seen that before.
Bops is from Australia, so that's why he's just going, what the fuck? Because you convert that and it goes up to like it's like $80 or something. It's insane. Right?
Yeah, it goes up by weight eventually. I think if you add two, you still get the same price.
So maybe that's what we should do. We should just pool together and all of us buy one together and then just get it shipped to Algared and Algared can post them out or whatever. But they need to work out a better way to get this to go global, because I can't imagine it's different for you, Piggles. Like, how much does it cost to get that posted to you, Piggles? Just out of curiosity.
Let me have a look.
Because you're in the UK, so I just want to get another benchmark.
Where is it, under the merch section?
Yeah.
Real quick, guys. I have to run, but thanks for letting me come on for a bit. It's always fun to talk ships with you, Algared. I'm glad you got your GPU build coming. So, everybody have a great rest of your show. I'll lurk.
It's not coming. It's in.
It's in. Even better. Even better.
Did you get the other thing? See you, Grim. Sorry.
See you, Grim. Appreciate you, mate. See you later.
Later.
I just sent you a screenshot, X.
Right. I'll open that real quick. Did you get your other gift from me, Algared? It said it got delivered. Oh, I mean, Algared. Oh, yeah, he's got it. Yeah, there it is. He's got it. I brought him that for Christmas. So he kept complaining his coffee and tea was getting cold. So I brought him that for Christmas.
No, I kept complaining I'd finish my coffee and tea before you'd get here. Which
yeah.
Today I was able to put the tea on the thing and
works well, yeah.
Just sip it slowly and
it works well though, yeah. It's good.
It kept up. Yeah. I didn't have to, it lasted longer because it stayed warmer, so yeah.
Yeah, see, that's just not fair. Look at that, £5. that's not fair.
Well, that's like
bearing in mind,
$10.
I was about to say
$10.
£5
Yeah, but
is like what, 40 Australian dollars. So
But that's still like
Australian pesos.
look at it. Look at it. So we call them dollary dues down here. Anyway,
Dollary dues,
that's a sixth of the original cost, right? A sixth. That I'm looking at it as the total of the product versus, so it's a sixth of the thing. When you look at what we've got, it's literally, what is it? It's literally 4/6. Oh, sorry, 5/6. It's the complete opposite almost. Yeah, so they need to do something for postage to Australia. It's exclusively an Australian problem. I get that, but when they were posting them out of Asia, they were so much cheaper. Like I remember Algared, it only cost us $5.
Yep.
I like all the ones I have over there. I've got a whole bunch of mouse pads from back in the day, and then once they price changed, I just stopped buying them because they were ridiculous. They were like, this is insane.
Northern Hermit basically says, £27 for him in the UK.
Yeah. So it was
just to give you some like live reaction to that. By the way, when you brought up that Levski mouse pad, I looked down at my mouse pad, my old ratty mouse pad here, and I went, you know what? It's about time for an update. I'll order that at the end of this stream. And then you showed me that shipping, and I went, no, not today.
Yep.
No.
I'm going to show you by comparison. I hope I don't show anything untoward here, but I'm going to go to my Amazon page, and I'm going to type in Razer mouse pad, and it's usually one of the first ones that come up. Of course, it's not. It's not going to come up.
Of course not.
Goliath, I think it's called Goliath.
Yep, the Goliath pads.
Goliaths. No, it's not bringing up the cheap ones. So wait, if I just set it to load high. Oh, god damn it. But these ones here, right? I can't find them right now, but these ones here, you can literally get them for $16. I'm looking for the red one, but it's just not going to come up. Or maybe they stopped selling them anymore. But I'll find it in a minute and I'll bring it up. But literally, I got 4 of these at $16 each. So I spent about $50 and I got 4 of them. The cheapest those Star Citizen ones have ever been was about I remember them being about $50 Algared. Do you remember? It was around about that back in the day, wasn't it? And that I could swing.
Back in the day, we had parity with the US dollar, which we don't have anymore. So that doesn't help. Look, you know that you might be a skins guy. I might be a ship guy, but I'm also a mouse pad guy. I think I've got every mouse pad bar one. And as you know, I basically had a wall when you came to and we were playing Witcher. You know, you saw the mouse pads. It was basically a wall of mouse pads just in their boxes still. So yeah, so it becomes a pricey affair if you.
God, they're not coming up at all. Right? I don't know.
But yeah. Anyway, should we deal with a question? Actually, it's 9:07. That means we've been going an hour. I reckon it's time to do a draw.
All right. Well, let's do that then.
Before we hit our first question, we haven't actually done a question today.
Yeah. All right. So this is so people were generous enough to donate money towards Algared to get a GPU during the Citizencon live stream, as he said before. We need to talk for yourself, but basically this is the per percentage of the donations.
Yeah. So it was donate. We'll get a new graphics card, but we'll also buy a Paladin, and we'll put that up as a raffle. And this is the raffle for the for the Paladin. And if you're here in the stream, then we'll chuck in a skin as well.
But instead of spinning it like this, where it's all biggie and stuff, I've spread it out like this. So when you're ready, Algared, you just tell me, and we'll give it a spin.
Press that button.
Here we go.
I was going to say press that buzzer, but no buzzer there.
Congrats to everyone, or good luck to everyone. Here we go.
And he's strung it out, so it's going to keep going forever.
Ooh. 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 Fenris Aries, are you in the chat, sir? Ooh. It went past some people I knew there. I was like, oh, Joy Pop, oh, John Citizen, oh, Tricord. Like it was going past. I was like, oh. And then it came to someone. I think this person might have only had one ticket too. So congrats. Henris, are you around anywhere, mate? No.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and have a look. I may have had 5, but yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But either way, once again, everyone who contributed to the raffle and helped get that GPU, thank you so much.
I can actually, if I go back to the other one, and I unhide it and go down here to Fenris, I can probably find his name. If you see it, point it out to me because I'm a bit blind. There we go. So he had 4 tickets. He did. He had 4 tickets. So that means what he put in like $20? No, wait, that would have been $40. $40 bucks. $40 he put in. So yeah.
I say that all the time. My stream, as you know, I do the giveaway for the Paladin, and I always give away a ship every month. It only takes 1 ticket at the end of the day. You know, so you can see people there who have thousands of tickets, and set people who have 2 or 3, and you just never know. Never know who's going to get it. So.
Well, if you looked at Tricord, he only needed like 1 more ticket, and he would have been a third of everything. So he put in so much. So yeah, I don't see.
In fairness, I don't think he was really buying tickets to get the.
He was doing it.
He put in more than the price of a ship. So
yeah, he definitely put in to help. So yeah, so we'll get in contact with Fenris. He's not here, so that's okay. But we'll definitely go beyond to get that off to him. So yeah, if you are watching this after the fact, Fenris, get in contact with me via Discord or Algared, and we'll get you sorted. And
otherwise, I'll message you and get your details, and we'll take it from there.
Yep. All right. While we're here though, we will pimp that one time the Apollo video. We're going to do that. We're doing that today as well. Towards the end of the stream. So if I go you channel,
which is great for you guys. You guys, if you haven't entered already, go to our video when it pops up on the screen. You can go there. Make sure you're subscribed and a public subscriber so we can actually see, because that makes it easier for us. And leave a comment, and that puts you into the draw for winning the Medivac.
Medivac's a cool ship, super cool ship.
We will be giving away another Paladin. They gave us a Shiv to give away, but I went out and brought about $90 worth of CCUs in a chain from that, and I'm going to turn that into another Paladin. So we'll give another one away sooner rather than later. We'll have to attach it to one of the videos, Algared. So yeah, that'll be the next one we're giving away. But yeah, I was just like, Shiv,
Yeah, face it, you just don't like
Shiv is so cool. What are you talking about? All right, it's amazing. They should be blessed to receive such a powerful and well-groomed ship.
Pieces of paper can be cool too with what you print on them, but they really.
I tend to think it's the Goldilocks of those 3 ships, because it sits in the middle. Is it the best?
Such a piece of shit.
It's amazing.
I love the look of it. It just needs some. Again, it's just all data. There's nothing they can't do to fix it. Like just turn some of the strengths on it up.
It looks so weird.
Yeah, but we're talking about. You have a bias, my friend, right? And I know that
I do get
because
it. I just can't get over how it looks.
Yeah, but that's because it doesn't appeal to you. It's the same thing for people, because like all the ships that you like are completely the opposite to that.
I'm not saying everything has to appeal to me. I'm just saying.
Is Pickles an Origin buyer? Does he buy Origin ships?
Yeah, he's got like every motherfucking one.
I have one Origin ship. Thank you very much.
He's got like the 100i. No, he's got all the sparkly, cool looking.
I've got a 400i.
I feel attacked right now.
Yeah, he's got a wolf as well. Like he's got all those little sparkly ships.
It's so cool though. The wolf is cool.
Yeah, well, I'm not giving you shit. I'm just saying. I'm talking about
I'm
you.
all about
you specifically.
I'm all about rule of cool.
Yeah.
Citizen Ninja said I would have preferred a 400i over the Shiv, but
we can all agree that the Shiv is infinitely cooler than the wolf in every single way, right?
Look, I think what the Shiv means is
you are anathema to me.
What the Shiv means as a whole, as in the manufacturer, is what you really need to take away from it. I think that's a really cool potential of what they can do with that as a manufacturer is really exciting. And
Well,
if someone had come to me and said, let's make a manufacturer under Drake, I would have like, can you get any lower? Like, that would be my reaction. But
Hell yeah, we can.
They bought it off. Like, they've done it.
The cool thing
But-
I find with the Shiv more than the ship itself is the fact that opens a pathway to bring the other Greys ships over from Squadron 42 into Star Citizen, because there's a decent amount of them,
and new hybrids in the future as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've said this before on my stream. These guys hang out my streams a bit pickles, so they know this about me. But I play Star Citizen for the like low tech side of things. My dream is like Mad Max in space, just running amok. Like the rattling hull of a ship that's falling apart.
So Greys really fits in perfectly with that.
100%. Yeah, the minute I saw that crazy arc, I actually did a video with these guys about the Shiv that'll come out at some point. But it is so far up my alley, and my play style. You know, I pilfer from bodies. I never come prepared. I've got nothing but a knife and a stim stick, and just try and make it work. And the Shiv sort of fits that. And there were people. I know there's a lot of people that don't necessarily like the aesthetic of the Shiv, but I can tell you there are hundreds and hundreds of people like me that were waiting for something like this, because we looked at Drake and we went, oh, that's too high tech. That's too fancy for us. Give us something else.
Well, look at Essay.
We've got it now.
Essay that was here last week. He was the same. He you could tell he was in that same mindset as you are. So you
even look at the Shiv and then compare it to Drake, and it's one of the things we were saying. It really feels like the Greys market is really picking up that vibe that Drake originally had, and Drake had kind of moved into that generalist low end.
Utilitarian.
Low-end utilitarian, as opposed to jury-rigged piece of beep. So yeah. But do I like it? Yeah, I do like the look of the Shiv. But I also think it's the middle of the road of those three gunships that we've been given: the Stinger, the Shiv, and the Paladin. And I think that the fact that
are there any questions?
Yeah, we've got about half a
relation
dozen. Relating to the Shiv, let's have a look.
I just find that, like, I'm going to go here for 2 seconds, is just how they didn't put any information in it at all. Like, it's just like, what? Like, this is
it blankety blanks.
Like it's like they half-assed the website as well. Like, it just says coming soon.
Yeah,
Like,
the whole thing's a piss take of the community, being that it's great. We've already talked about Grey's market, but you know what I noticed the other day? We've all noticed the green headlights. Well, I thought to myself the other day when I flicked it on, I was like, God, I wish that I had night vision as I flew into a darkened area, and I was like, I wonder what the headlights on this ship are like, and then it lit up green like that, and I went, you absolute menaces! Like even the night vision joke is hidden in the ship as well. So yeah.
Bit of trolling, I guess.
I know when we were looking at the Shiv, it was we can't find any details. Let's just go in the game and have a look. It was literally, let's find out what we need by looking at the ship in game. That was the feel.
That's what we had to do in the review. It was.
I have a question about that. So, what on this ship is MISC?
The engines down the side, mate. So those side engines are off for Freelancer. So long story short, it's got Anvil, MISC, and Drake all in one ship. And I've even there's a chat that you guys probably have heard about before between me, Grim, and Fistpone. And one of the things I did this week was I literally asked them to say, all right, let's now relook at this image with the with that in mind. What other manufacturers could this now be built out of? And so when we've been arguing previously, clearly it's got Drake wings, ripped probably off the Corsair. And then it's like, okay, well then what other components come in there? So all of a sudden we can look at this with fresh eyes now. And I would probably willing to bet it's at least got MISC and Drake in it. But I start to look at things differently. Like what's that cab made out of? I'm willing to bet a large chunk of money that this is grey market.
Yep. And I go back to the conversation we had when we were talking to one of the CIG guys, and we'd said, the Drake ship, and he said, is it Drake?
Yeah. And that's what I think. I think after Algared said, I was like, yeah.
Could this be a Corsair turned on its side?
Um,
And then the wing mounts for the Corsair, the left wing mounts for the Corsair, have been turned into landing gear. That's sitting on like landing gear of the wing mounts of a side profiled Corsair. I just seen it now. It looks, it's got the Corsair wing, so it's obviously got some Corsair in it. Could be a Corsair that's flipped sideways and it's two wings that stick out the side and now been modified into landing gear, so it sits on its landing gear.
I just think it's a Grey's market ship.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like a Grey's Market chopped up Corsair. That's what it looks like.
It literally
Corsair,
could be
Reliant.
What I'm kind of expecting is a Reliant and a Corsair somehow merged together. That's kind of where I'm at. I can't get past the whole rotating thing. And the real thing that you've got to think about how a plane flies and the current restrictions of the way the engine works in game. There is no way that thing doesn't fly vertically because of the way you've got to artificially have the symmetry work in this game, and because it's only got one small wing. If it had two small wings, I'd go, okay, it's like a Corsair, because realistically the big wing is the same weight as the two small ones, but because there's only one, that doesn't work because it's not balanced. So therefore the only way you can get it balanced is to make it go symmetrical, and so that therefore it has to fly vertically. And once you factor that in, you go, well, it's not a Corsair anymore. And that's why we started going, well, it's not Drake anymore, because Drake don't do complicated like that. They are simple and bare bone. You know, like,
well, that was the original thing I raised with you, wasn't it? When you were saying, oh, it rotates. I said, Drake, don't do that. It's not Drake. That sounds more Reliant. And you went, oh, hang on. And then we started looking at those similarities, and but the fact that, you know, we were constantly caught up on, you know, but is it Drake?
Yeah.
That comment really threw a spanner into our original thinking, and now we go, yeah, is it Drake? Because it looks so much.
And when you zoom in, it has freelancer like engines on it and stuff like that. It's got a fin on it that looks like it's very much off the Reliant. So there's just there was so much that was really weird and juxtaposed, and now it makes so much more sense when you realize it's made up of probably multiple manufacturers.
And then you go, and we've got a new manufacturer that does that. Oh, Grey's Market.
Oh my god, I'm getting so much flack from backseat developers in Twitch over my comment. It's got Newtonian physics in the game, so basically you can go look at this up. Algared, do you want to back me up on this at all? Like things like why the MSR's got its fake. You know, they try to do ships that were really symmetrical, and then they got reworked, like the Herald. A whole bunch of them got reworked because they could only really fake symmetry. They couldn't do the real thing. And that's what I'm trying to imply.
And will they be able to do that in the future? Yeah, possibly. Given that all the other things that they've been told they can't do, and they do. But that's one of the reasons they didn't do it. And it's one of the things I think that I don't think we've seen your favourite little ship you've been flying at the moment, your little your Scout, your Cartwell, Bops. I don't think we've seen that in its best light yet, because I think
I don't think so either.
It's really keyed into the flight model and the 6 degrees of movement, the way that the thrusters and everything that work. It's really keyed in for joystick users, I think.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've for the last 3 weeks been spruiking constantly that there was a change to the Santoki Eye, a very positive one. And as I said to you this morning, the patch is out, and now all the PvPers are messaging me going, Bops, did you see there's a change to the Santoki Eye? Yes, there has been, and it's phenomenal. We flew it last night, and it finally feels like it's designed for joysticks. But more than anything, it feels closer to the old flight model, just pulled in a bit. It doesn't have quite the side maneuvers and up and down strafes of the old flight model, but it's closer to it, and the Santok just feels so wonderful. I really hope they just give those a few more tweaks to that Cartwell and get it closer, because Santok, if you own a Santok, guys, and you haven't flown it since it came out because it's not been the best ship, now is the time to go bust out your Santok and have a fly, because I think it may even be top 5 competitive PvP ships. It's that good. So go get in a Santok, take it for a whip. It's amazing.
So getting back to this, like, there's people asking things in chat like, why would they make another grey market ship when they already had other ones to release? Because they probably saw a way to make ships like this. If you're using pre-existing parts, right, and you're you're essentially kit. I wish Grim was here because he does a lot of kit bashing, but you essentially, it saves time because you don't have to remodel everything. You don't have to retexture everything. You can essentially connect things together with pieces. And it saves time. So you can make chips at a faster rate. So the grey market chips essentially allows them a cheaper way to reuse stuff that they've already got. And they can lean into that junker aesthetic,
which right now a lot of people like.
Yeah, so it's a very easy way to reuse some assets. That's why they're doing it. And the other thing I'm remembering now when we're at dinner that he also said, we're talking about some that we know, but we're trying to hide who they are. Was he said, the guy that's making this ship is absolutely crazy. Right, like crazy talented, like so what I think he's implying there was the ability to connect different ships together and get another gameplay out of them. I think that's what he's implying when he talks about this stuff.
This source that you spoke to, he said that this wasn't in Squadron 42, because I assumed a lot of these ships that are coming through here, like, for example,
didn't say anything about that.
Didn't ask anything about that.
Shiv is obviously just a pullover from Squadron 42, and they've just updated the internals a little bit, and they'll probably continue to. So I assumed some of these ships, some of these silhouettes that we've seen up here in Squadron 42, and they've just gone, okay, let's throw them in here.
Hey, look who's in chat. There's a troublemaker in chat.
I know.
I've got a photo of him here somewhere. Look, I'll show you this really cool photo.
But the discussion at dinner, we were talking about the blue curtain because, you know, it had just come out, and we were talking about the Drake ship because first impression we thought, oh, yeah, it's a Drake ship. And the initial comment was,
look, there he is.
Yeah, is it really?
Best photo ever. Yeah, that was when I said earlier. I said, hey, let's send a photo to Pete, and I said, that's a UK wave apparently. That's how they greet each other over there.
And his opinion was, no, you had to do the bird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we know, Elliot. We know.
Yeah. Hope you're well, Elliot. Good to see you, man. Been a year. I can't believe it's been a year already. It's gone so quick.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Holy smacking.
Yeah.
It was probably about this time last year we were having that dinner. We were talking about the blue curtain, and and
it would have been
a Drake ship, and
it would have been Citizencon. Well, we're 24 hours behind, or 12 hours or so behind them, but it would have just been going into Citizencon tomorrow because it was on the 19th. And it's the 18th. So
but
this
in
would have
terms
been
of the
Friday.
day after Citizencon, I'm referring, like, it was that same time.
It's the day before Citizencon is what I'm trying to tell you. So
yeah,
it would have been Anyway, but this was actually below CIG at the Bar Citizen on the Monday.
But that first one, and that was a hoot of a.
That was my favorite.
By far the best.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing of the whole thing. Just target-rich environment, as I'd call it, because there was like 14 citizens and like 40 developers, and I just went right over there, and I just went to this table in the corner and just sat there and talked all night. And Elliot was next to me for most of it, putting up with my shit and questions, and he was great though. I got him well. So, I miss you, bud. It was good. I hope to see you again soon.
I'll talk to people and find out, how they got into Star Citizen, and it was it ended up being, how did you get into the company, and what have you been working on, and what was your onboarding task, and
you were going around
that was a mixed bag.
Socializing. I just sat was
and then I got tired and sat down and joined you. But it
was good.
But that was by far the best night of all the Bar Citizens. That was by far the best. The music was quiet, so you could actually talk. That was ability to talk without screaming. That was awesome.
Yeah, that would have been my biggest feedback. When they did the night at the bars, don't have the nightclubs play music. Like if you're essentially going there to, and you can't talk. It was so annoying. Like you had to scream everywhere. You want to talk at Bar Citizens. You don't want to just like drink. Tell them to turn the music down. And the music up was so loud. Like
I thought Algared was supposed to be the older one of this combo.
It's not about that. It's about
I know.
It's about talking.
I'm just stirring you. You're going there for conversation.
We're going there. You're going there to socialize, and you can't even hear yourself think.
And you've booked out the street.
Yeah.
You've got every pub in the street on board for this massive thing. You've got massive people. The streets chockers with people from the event, and you go in and you can't talk. Or you can, but you can't talk. You got to scream.
Yeah,
that was a problem. I remember that. I remember I was sat chatting to one of the producers about the tools and how the data formats all work, and we were having a shout at each other to hear each other over the music.
And it's like, yeah.
I think it was actually kind of cool having Pickles there, because he'd have all these little backdoor conversations with people, and only certain people knew who he was, and it was just kind of funny. I always find it like it was like this little secret thing with you, Pickles, and I really find that funny. I still smile every time I think that you came with us into CIG. That still makes me laugh every single time I think of it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we've got a page of questions now, so it's time to do one.
We might have to do questions now. It's only halfway through the stream. Come on. We could have gone the whole way with no questions. No, right.
We probably could have gone the whole way without questions today, because it's just... And you were worried we didn't have anything to talk about. At the beginning, he says, I don't know what we're going to talk about this week. You have little faith. We can fill the void with meaningless chip chatter.
I'm just going back through messages because I'm getting messages. So just this, I do want to show complete transparency here. So this Lemming sent me this one as well. So Lemming is in the US and it's $10 for postage for him, right? So we've now proven the British get the best postage of anyone. That's not fair. Yeah.
That's probably only because of their the value of the pound over the American dollar, because I think they've got.
Yeah, I think it shows though that you probably want to set something up so you post everything over to places and then get someone to distribute it for you, because there's no way the postage should be that extravagant to Australia. It's ridiculous.
Sickening.
And man, hey. If you want someone, I'm sure someone down here will help you set it up. Like, reach out. I will put you in contact with someone. My housemate works for Toll. He's one of the biggest couriers down here, so he'll help. I can get people involved if you need help. Let me know. But I know there's plenty of people down here that would go out of their way to help CIG get the postage prices down.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick.
That's an insult, says.
Just real quick. I want to say to Elliot. Elliot, reach out to Pete. He's always scared to contact you, so you got to contact Pete first. I keep telling him to contact you, but he won't. So reach out to him. He wants to talk to you, but he's scared he's annoying you. So it's good to see you guys talking again, but Pete, you need to talk to him more often. You guys get on really well. I guarantee you when you guys meet, you're getting on really well. Sorry, Algared, go ahead.
That's an insult was saying that in the US you have US having to pay tariffs now. So yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, see? Sorry, that's exactly what I said he would say, Pete. Look what he said. He said, Pete, don't be a little shit. Message me whenever. Hey, I knew he would say that. And that's sorry.
Yep.
Justified, vindicated, knew what I was talking about. Right, cool. Go ahead.
Pete says, Pete realizes Elliot is busy.
Oh, fuck off. He's not when he's finished work. He clocks off and goes home like a normal human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He clocks off, goes home, and then logs on streams to talk about work.
In fact, that's exactly what he said. He said, busy, mate. If I was busy, the missions would work. So
Look, I'm going to be honest, though. I think you've done really well this year, Elliot. I think considering you haven't really taken a new engine build all year, I think you've done with what I know you're working with and how you talk. We were sitting there and saying the biggest problem with these missions. This is a year ago, right? And I'm assuming it's moving a little bit. I'm hoping it's moving a little bit for you. You can fill us in if it's any different. But he said, I just don't have the tools to make the missions I want to make. They're just not there yet. Have they started any of that work? Are you able to share that with us? Like, have you got any more tools than you had 12 months ago? So yeah, just if you want to share, I don't know what you can share, Elliot. But if you want to talk a little bit, feel free to share, because it was really evident to me he was essentially working with what he had. He was very limited. Yeah, exactly. So he goes, mate, from releasing every 3 months to releasing every month is crazy. Yeah, so his workload would have gone through the roof. And then I'm sure you had to kind of like plan months ahead as well. And I'm sure you're going to probably roll it back a bit now and probably go to like every 2 months or something like that, because then you can get the quality up a bit as well. Because like, again,
like a luxury.
Well, testing your Monday with a worm, I could tell, because you're trying to get 2 events out at once. So he says, yeah, we have some major new architecture that's helped us also to improve what we currently do and do it currently.
It's so obvious, like how much work he's been doing. I mean, you and I have been here we've all been here for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And if you think back to 2019 compared to where we are now, with specifically like mission scope and design, like it's look at ASD comparative to go to a bunker in 2019. Like it has changed and increased so much.
Yeah.
So he said his team's gone from he's essentially gone from 10 to 15 people in the last year. So that's huge, because I remember I think when I first talked to him, he said he had 8 people. So he's gone up again. So yeah,
it's nice not to be a team of one.
Yeah,
it's always good when you've got more people you can bounce ideas off or work with or even share the load. Yeah. So that's fantastic.
But yeah, those tools are real key, and we know that CIG have always been tools focused, so they can roll things out. It's just it's a priority thing, and I think Elliot what I remember Elliot basically saying, it was all things Squadron, and now Squadron's kind of hopefully starting to wrap up a little bit more now. I've seen it this year, and I think the rest of us seen it. It's starting to roll more out now into Star Citizen. And again, that underlying engine tech that have essentially been held off since January, once that come in, I'm assuming more and more tools will come online after that. So there that goes.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know, Elliot. I really appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, always nice to know there's more tools to make it easy, make your life easier, but also enable you to do more. Because we always want more. So anyway, first question.
Yeah.
First question. I think we've tried to get there several times, but we'll finally get there. So Shinobi Trip says for the NSB.
Hang on, Algared. Main Brian, thank you for the 5 gifted subs on Twitch. He's doing everything he can to delay you to get the questions, Algared. Sorry. And they went out to. Oh God, my screen's gone off.
And this is a question just for you, Bops.
Hang on. Bandit, Catcher 01, Waver, Trin Naughty, Dex, Zine, and Jack Painter. Make sure you thank Main Brian for those. Sorry, go Algared.
Because it's most appreciative. So this is for you, Bots. You and I aren't allowed to answer this X.
All right. Yep.
With the heavy fighter Stinger at 315 and the medium fighter Glaive at 350, do you think there will be significant changes to the Glaive to validate the extra cost?
I think there needs to be. We've had this discussion before about the price and the fact that the Glaive itself is now immensely overpriced comparative to the others within its class. If it is classed as a medium, which it still is. Right now it's got those 2 size 5 guns, which means that it is a hard hitter, but not $350 hard hitter. You look at something like a Paladin, it's got 4 size 5s and 4 size 4s on it. The maneuverability isn't there to justify it. The firepower isn't there to justify it. The profile isn't there to justify it. Now, do I think that the Glaive is a bad ship? No, not at all. I think that it's a wonderful ship to fly, and it's a whole bunch of fun. And with the rework to the visuals, I'm sure it's going to be spectacular. But $350 is too much. So something's got to give. And I've mentioned this before. I think that the Glaive in its current form, I don't think it's going to be on the store for much longer. I think they'll sell it a little bit as much as they can in the near future. And then the Glaive 2, I think it'll be called the something clan Glaive, like the, I don't know, Midori clan, and it'll be like the Vandal clan Glaive. It'll be the updated model of it.
That'll be a green ship, right?
Maybe, maybe. And then the current version that we have might disappear. But yeah, I think while it does perform, it's not $350 performing. But then what is? Like what can you do to it to make it perform at $350?
Now,
before you go on, I just wait. Elliot says a lot of it was tech. We needed server meshing and the other final tech to be finished before any focus could go further in content. As we've always been saying, server meshing is key. It was always about getting all the foundational tech in before you could move forward. All right. Sorry, Lemon, you were going to say.
So the Glaive is the only actual Vandal ship, other than the crashed one that there's like 3 of. So I think that will be a lot more high performing than the Asperia one, because the Asperia one isn't an actual like Vandal ship.
It's the the Glaive ship, but Vandal ship, not the Glaive.
I think what he's trying to get at, you're missing his point, but because again, look at the Stinger. The Stinger has a turret on top. The version that we get from Asperia does not have the turret on top. So there's already you know, and again, they've taken off all the Vandal weapons. You know what I mean? So
that,
yeah.
The other thing I've got with the question I've got was Glaive. It's got a size 5 neutron. Is that the largest neutron cannon in game?
I think it's plasma. So,
Yeah.
you're talking about the scythe,
It's got a plasma cannon
scythe or the
and
glaive?
a size 5 neutron cannon. So it's got 2 size 5s.
I think you're thinking about the scythe. So the glaive has identical symmetrical size
okay.
5s. Yeah. Whereas the scythe
Get 'em
has
mixed up.
the difference. So the scythe, I think we've seen the rework for it, and it still has separate entities and separate models for the 2 different guns. I think it is the largest neutron in the game by a substantial amount. I mean, other than that, I think we've only really got the NN 12s and 13s and the NDBs. It's spectacular to fly as well, that scythe. I'm so excited for the re-release. You know me, I love those Vandal ships. I'm so excited for the re-release of those, the reskins of those ships, because the sound design and the visual design language looks spectacular.
Second question. Yeti says, any peeps about the Flappy Bird ship?
Oh, I think we kind of just covered
I
it
think
earlier,
we've kind of
didn't we?
discussed that. We kind of think now it's a Grey's market ship. Simpex Steve, if the Paladin is so good at the moment, don't you think they will nerf it as soon as the Perseus comes out? I do. That's his comment.
I think it's fairly balanced. Well, at the moment, when it was in the PTU, it had these massive health problems as well. And I still think it's got a little issue with its nose too. It seems to get a lot of damage on its nose more than it should. Like it's not distributed properly. It's but again, tell me a ship that hasn't come in the game that doesn't really have some kind of teething issue.
I think as you guys know, I come from another competitive scene before I came over here. There's two ways that companies tend to balance things. Historically, Star Citizen has gone for the make it strong and then reel it in. And people will say, oh, it's because they want it to be strong and then they nerf it once everyone's bought it. No. That's something they do in all game design, regardless of price, where they'll bring in something new, very, very, very strong, and then they bring it down once they start to see the problems with it. The other alternative is you bring in something weak and underwhelming, and then you slowly notch it up until it fits into the rest of the playing field. I think there's been a change. I think at CIG, I don't remember the last time a ship was brought in that was overpowered. It's been quite some time. The Meteor came in. Meteor still needs some love. It's in a really bad spot. So if someone from CIG is here, go tell them to make that Meteor worth buying. The Kruger came in, and I don't think it was overpowered at all. I think it sat in a really gentle spot, and then it's slowly been being notched up and down a little bit here and there. I think the Stinger's underpowered. I think the Shiv has HP issues, and I think that the Paladin could probably be a little bit thicker. So I think that they've got to the point now where when they release their ships, sure they feel strong for PvE, but in the PvP sphere at the moment they're all, I don't want to use the word underwhelming because that seems like it has negative connotations. They just all are in a position where they can just be gently bumped up until they find their relevant place. So I think if anything, the Paladin needs to be stronger, not weaker.
For the Meteor, I think that this is what I always think of. Disco Lando is like Homer Simpson making a car, and they should have never have let that man near a spaceship. But that's just my personal opinion. Right? Sorry, Algared, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of balance, it's a matter of looking at where CIG imagined the ships would be and what the role they see, because that's at the end of the day, they're going to balance those ships so they fit into the role where they wanted it to fit. And so you are going to get the ship, and just like any MMO, as you were saying, Bops, any MMO you've ever played, you get your class, it comes really good, it gets nerfed, it gets balanced, it gets buffed, it gets, and you see that constantly happening until you go, now it's good. And that's going to happen with our ships, and it'll be a constant thing that happens every time a ship comes out. We'll see that balancing happen until they fit into that groove where they really want it. And if it's not performing the way they want, they'll change it slightly and keep doing it until it fits exactly that position they want it to go. So,
and that brings longevity of a game. I've played competitive Dota for 20 years. That game, the reason that it's been able to maintain its maintain its trajectory is because it's had years and years of adjustments and patch changes and reworks and all this sort of stuff. So if we want our game to have longevity in the competitive space, there should be no point where they release the Hornet and say, and that's done. 5 years from now, there's going to be another 30 ships or 20 ships or whatever it might be. And so that's done is not where the Hornet should sit anymore. The whole scape has changed. And so we want the ships in this game are the heroes of Dota. They're the heroes of a Rainbow Six Siege. They're the heroes of an Overwatch. And they're going to change and adjust as new heroes come in. So we want that. I've already talked about to you, Execute, how I go to Performance Viewer every single time there's a patch to look at those stats and numbers, because that's what makes the game interesting.
I think it's not just like data either. I think it also needs to be visual, and I think we're seeing that a little bit at the moment with the weapons being updated, but even little things like the Polaris, as you said, over the last year, getting little updates away across the board. And I would hope that continues non-stop for the entire life of the game. Like I'd expect at some point there's a drastic engine overhaul and a lot of the graphics get updated, because like 10 years from now, it's probably going to need it again.
Yeah. No, 100%. So that next question is, that's an insult. How are we doing?
I'm getting there from last week. Like I always get thrown off at Citizencon. It's fairly exhausting. I think I'll reserve my just put this way. There were some things that went on in the background that were not very pleasant because Citizencon had copyrighted music in it. I'll leave it at that. So a lot of our hard work, I'll leave it at that.
Goes down the drain.
As in monetary wise, but I still had a great time.
Yeah, which therefore brings us to a point. If you like our channel and you're watching and you've been here 2 or 3 times and you haven't subscribed, do so, because that gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling, and it helps us negate those issues where ad revenue gets neutered because there's copyrighted music being used. And also, that also brings us to our draw for the Apollo. If you haven't yet entered our draw for the Apollo, go to our video. Make sure you're a subscribed and visible member, and leave a comment on that video, and you go in a chance to win not the Apollo Medivac, but the Apollo, not the Apollo Triage, but the Apollo Medivac. And if you hear it on the channel when it's drawn, we also chuck in a skin as well. So what more could you do? Subscribe, like, make us feel warm and fuzzy.
I'll see if there's any more being added, but it was 132 when I did this earlier. So I'll have a quick look, and I got to roll. I got to scroll down and.
I noticed that someone on Twitch is asking for a link to the video. Do you want to throw a link into the Twitch chat?
Daft will be on that. Daft will hear, and he'll be on that. He'll be on that very quick. Dafty Digit was doing it earlier. Gotta make sure he's on his toe. He's coming. Don't worry, he's coming. Wait for it. He's gonna make a lie out of me.
He is gonna make
Daft, are you there? Daft, are you there? There's people. Everyone's asking for links. Daft, are you there? Daft.
Link to the video, Daft.
Oh, jeez! Oh, God, they're under me. He's like, oh crap, they're under me. Right, shit! I was on the toilet. Oh my God! Right, he's on it. He'll get you a link. Give me a minute. Right.
A link to the Apollo video.
Link to the Apollo video. Daft, they're cracking the whip. They're cracking the whip, Daft. There we go. He's on it. Yeah, good job, Daft. Yeah, good job. Right. All right, next question.
We'd be lost without our mods.
Yeah, best mod ever. Slack as hell. Gets there eventually. That's fine. Yeah, good job, Daft. All right, next question, please, Algared.
Next question is Socially Confused. Socially Confused says, non-stop Bops. Again, we're not loved. Have you tried Veshuvian combat? No, I'm pretty certain
I have. Yes,
and what's your opinion of it? And he's going to sing its praises. Go.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
So, preface, it is the coolest ship in the game. I'm very biased towards this ship, but I can be honest about it. First of all, the firepower is the same as a Hornet. Everyone's saying it's super overgunned. It's not. It's the same firepower as a Hornet. It is twice the size, if not 3 times the size of a Hornet, so it's the size of a barn, and it's got 5,000 hull HP and I think 12 or 1,600 tail HP. What does that mean? Well, 1,200 tail HP is less HP than the nose of a Hornet, the light fighter, the Hornet. So its tail, The big back end of that ship has less HP than the nose of the Hornet, and the body only has 5,000 HP. To give you more of an idea of what the 5,000 HP means, if you're shooting at the front of a Super Hornet Mark II, a medium fighter, it has 6,000 HP. So it's got less HP than a Hornet. So what am I getting at? Well, yes, it maneuvers well. It maneuvers very, very well. Its Gs are pretty slow, but that's okay. The G thrust should be slow on a ship that size, so I don't think that needs to change. But I think its HP needs to come up substantially, because while it has the firepower of the Hornet, it does not have the maneuverability or the profile of the Hornet, and that leads to complications when you get into any kind of real rate fight with a high skill opponent. And by the way, I'm talking about high skill up here. If you want to just go into the PU and take on pilots who don't have like AC sweat training, which is most players, let's be very realistic, you'll have a great time. You'll stomp them all day, every day. I have been. And if you want to go do some PvE, you'll have an even better time because the ship
clubbing
maneuvers
seals
well.
is what it's good for.
Clubbing seals, exactly. Good for clubbing seals, good for PvE, and a great ship to get your butt into and have a bunch of fun. You throw your butt into the top of it, and they get the firepower of a Hurricane on top. So overall, I think it's spectacular. I just think it needs a HP buff. Just buff its HP a bit. That's all. Just a little bit.
But the other thing that I do think comes into it, and again, we can't see how much that's going to influence that ship, is the fact that engineering will give that ship a chance to
and armor. Who
expand
knows
the
if it's
life
super
of
heavily
the
armored?
ship. So,
Piggles, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you just say in words or in voice what you just typed in Twitch? Because I think that covers it.
It's a complete piece of shiv, to be honest.
Yeah.
complete piece of shiv. Yeah.
I think that's gonna stick somehow. I just got a feeling.
What can I say? One more thing too.
Yeah, No.
Everyone go and buy it. Send the message to CIG that we want more. Buy the ship. We want more.
No, since you can't say anymore. No, it's fine.
No.
Well, in all seriousness, it is a really cool ship, and I'm glad it's making waves. I'm just not personally interested.
But it's like we always say that Space said this. For you to like for this game to appeal to everyone, there's got to be things in this game that you hate.
You need to have variety. Yeah.
And like I like all I can look at ships unobjectively and see them, and like a lot of people think I hate Origin. No, I just want them to do better. And it's not a way they look problem. It's a function problem, and I think they're going to get that. It's just the shop ships that I'm waiting for to see, and I think that's where they're going to start to shine.
Yeah,
I like to think I make a similar approach when I assess a ship, at least taking it for its objective value. However, when choosing it for my own, when choosing them for my own use, I'm very much I'm very subjective in how they look. I like a sleek, sort of high-tech, fast-looking ship rather than something cobbled together. And it ultimately, it's a difference of taste.
Yeah. Your taste is very one way. I can see it. And
John Shave says, sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go, Algared.
John Shave says it's a Hurricane with a cargo grid, and that kind of sums up my thoughts as well. It's a Hurricane with a cargo grid, and you can actually do repairs on the ship from the inside. So it's got a lot of advantages over that. The downside is it's a massive big target compared to a Hurricane, but hey, you can't have everything.
God, you know, can someone test this for me if you've got the game open? If you load cargo into the back of the Shiv and the tail 1600 or 1200 HP, whatever it is, and that goes down, obviously shots penetrate through the gap. Then will they hit the cargo? Can I armor up my Shiv by putting cargo on the grid? Can someone go test that for me and message me in my Discord when they get a chance? Because that might be why the HP's so low. I didn't even think about that.
So this is recorded. So Bops joined us for this one. This is the episode that'll be coming out on Tuesday for us, Monday for them in the upover. But so we talk about it all in depth in this one. But it's all there ready to go.
Yeah. So if you want Shift Talk, watch that. Subscribe, hit that button, all that stuff.
I'm very tempted to go back now and just write the title as a complete piece of shiv. I'm really tempted, tempted, but
I think it's worth doing it.
Do it.
Yeah. I'd probably make it as a subtitle. I'd probably go Gray's Market Shiv Buyer's Guide, a complete piece of shiv, or something like that. But But I'm not a big fan of doing those to the buyer's guides. I try to keep them very I try to keep them very standard for searching, so people can come back and find them easily. So I'd make it a subtitle. I wouldn't make it a complete swap.
Because we've struggled in the past trying to find titles.
Yeah, we used to name. There's literally titles we use that Disco then used later as episode titles for SCL and Inside Star Citizen and stuff like that. And we did that. We did all these pun titles, and then we realized as soon as we went from pun titles to more easier to find titles, the view watch on older videos skyrocketed because people were able to find them, and when if they found our channel later, they'd then go back and watch all the stuff because they could easily find it. So we heard really crazy things like people that would go to work. We heard this from multiple people, right? Didn't we, Algared? Where they'd take Fix My Fleet and they'd just put it on a repeat and just watch it over and over and over. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, just over and over. Like, I would go brain dead. But apparently that's what people do. I sent you a video I made. What's the video on, right?
While he finds that though, just to finalize that question, great ship for PV and clubbing seals, but it needs buffs. It's in a position where it definitely needs some buffs. It needs that HP pool to come up. So
fortunately, right, I got no way to bring that up on stream, right? Sorry, I would. It's pretty cool, but if you can send it to me in a way I can open it, like just send me a YouTube link, right? And I'll open it and I'll show it because that's actually pretty funny.
Direwolf 6399 says, question for the pilot of a Perseus, what weapons will they control?
Ooh. I don't think there will be any.
It's just the torps, right?
Missiles?
The missiles are torps. Yeah, that's it. Basically it. Yeah.
First time.
Do you think there's a world where they slave the? Because they've been doing that lately. Like they slaved the Paladin side guns. Is there a world? I can't see them slaving the size 8s to it.
And then the next one is, how do you slave the one underneath?
Yep.
It would just be. You really need that one underneath to because it's doing some heavy lifting, that guy down there. It's going to feel weird being underneath like that, upside down all the time. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I think like as I said, you got to be able to look at it non-objectively. Don't even look at that ship. Just think of 2 large, massive 8-size turrets, if they're 8 or even 7, right? And then think about the ballistics, the amount of ammo that you're going to be carrying, and the fire rate. The math just doesn't add up. And when you kind of run it through, you can realize it's having this massive burst damage. But what do you lose? Well, you've only really got those 2 little PDCs to stop you from fighters. It is an utter weakness to smaller ships. It's like the
original concept sail.
It's like the Ares. The Ares is made to punch up to capitals. This is the same kind of thing, but it's just completely weak to fighters. The fighters are going to screw that thing around.
You look at the original concept sail for the Perseus. There was a package that had 2 arrows in that pack. That gives you an indication of how weak it was to fighters. It needed wingmen to protect it.
You know how I feel about large ships. Well, I love large ships and think they're critical to the game's success. I would like to see more and more ships lose complete functionality for the pilot when it comes to any form of weaponry. So if the Perseus comes out with no guns slaved to the pilot, that is perfect. I think they should take the guns off of the Idris pilots. When I saw that they'd given guns to the Carrack pilot, I shook my head and face-palmed. Like, these are big ships made to be multi-crewed. Why is the pilot getting any access to any of the guns? Missiles I can sort of understand, but even then I would prefer them to be in the hands of a co-pilot. We need to force more people into multi-crewing their ships. Or paying for crew, AI crew, NPCs, whatever it might be in the future. So if there are no guns for the pilot on the Perseus, I'll not be disgruntled. I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
That's 100%.
All right, hold that thought. This is Just Rod's video. We're gonna watch it. What the hell? What did I do? What did I do?
Did I see Joe Pesci? Are we about to get a casino reference?
What the hell did I do? I must have turned something off, and I didn't mean to. What the hell is going on here?
You broke it.
What the hell have I done?
So just to continue about what Bops was saying there, I personally think a whole lot of people are going to be upset by the Perseus when it comes out.
Yep. Now, I'm going to cut you off there because we've got a first-time chatter in Monte Claudio who said ship ASMR, and we've also got a first-time chatter in Twitch, Harvest Dubois, who says
Harvest. No, Harvest. No interest. Shut up. Get out of here. Don't. No. Can you ban? Can someone ban Harvest, please? I'd appreciate that. Unbelievable.
No, look, Idris is fine. It's just that you need to have a pilot needs to not have control of the guns. Like,
yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Those big ships, and it makes pilots more critical. Then, if the pilot is doing everything they can to focus on piloting, then they're 100% committed to that. And then you have your gunners and weapon system operators and all that good stuff.
I'm sure our audience is sick and tired of me saying I'm sick and tired of seeing the pilots have the massive guns and the gunners have minuscule pea shooters in comparison.
Well, that thought I got it working. I had to restart Firefox. It crashed or something. All right, here we go. Yep. Let's have a listen. Better not get comic strike for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Joe Pesci.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I think he did well. You just need to audio translate to say, "Is this piece of shiv?" And I reckon you. Perfect.
Yep. As Jelen Tonic says, the pilot's job is to enable the gunners not to be one, and that's what I love about the Hurricane. That's the thing I love most about the Hurricane. Because the gunner has the most guns, the pilot actually works with the gunner rather than forcing the gunner to try and work with him. And that was the thing. That was a big difference we found with the RSI Scorpius versus the Hurricane, wasn't it? It was that big difference was that working with the gunner rather than no, you got to work with me.
Well, that came up last night, like where Bops was saying that he reckons that they need to up the pilot guns, and I went no. And my person was no, you cannot. Because that's the one thing the Hurricane has is this psychological thing over the Scorpius. Yeah.
What I was discussing, so it depends on the scenario we're talking about. If we're talking about 1v1, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But if in a group scenario, the Hurricane is currently just an absolute hog. It handles so poorly. It's such a fat, slow ship. So it needs something. If it's going to move at the speed that it moves, then it needs to be able to put more firepower out. And you can't give more guns to the turret because it's already bristling. So you'd have to gun up the pilot. But ideally, everything should stay the same with its firepower, and it should just get more maneuverability because it's only got 7,000 HP, which is medium fighter HP, and yet it moves like a freaking constellation. So I'm just that's the ship that I'm most salty about in all of Star Citizen because I used to have a co-pilot who we used to go and crush some of the best pilots in the world in the Hurricane, and he stopped playing the game because the Hurricane is such a bag of dicks. I hate that ship at the moment. Sorry, excuse my French.
That's just because you don't have a co-pilot anymore.
Yeah. No, it's because I don't have a co-pilot because the Hurricane sucks. That's why.
I don't know. Me and Algared always enjoyed the Hurricane. And we did the same.
So good.
We did the same thing in the Scorpius though, and this is even when the Scorpius were like the Scorpius. You saw me and Andy in the Scorpius the other day. It was totally fine, right? But the thing I'm trying to get at, this is just a psychological thing that we both. It was really clear to us that it just makes you work better and harder because it's so tailored towards the turret gunner needing to be in the right place that the pilot actually does his job and you get the teamwork going. And that's what the Scorpius lacks.
It didn't matter who was piloting which ship. We've both felt this. We came away saying, it just felt.
Well, the problem with the Scorpius is that it doesn't matter if one has more firepower. I don't think it's when they have equal firepower. Because when you have something like when you have something like a Hurricane, you can say, okay, I've got the big size fours. I can clip light fighters on the way past, or I can start to work on the shields of a bigger ship. Yeah. Or if you've got something where you've got like a Cutlass, where the pilot has more guns and the turret has less guns, well then we're going to focus on the turret's guns because the pilot's guns because it's got more. The problem with the Scorpius is you've got equal. So what do you value? And is it the pilot can more easily get his own nose on target than he can perceive where his turret is on target. So the Scorpius, it just is in a really difficult. It's probably the best of all the heavy fighters, just to be clear. The Scorpius, when it comes to PvP, but it is difficult to live in the moment decision make during PvP as to whether it's better if I hold my line as a pilot or whether I give it to my guns. Whereas with the Hurricane, because of the firepower the turret has, it's very easy to say, okay, I'm going to give you the line to my co-pilot and come off nose.
The problem I have with ships like the Cutlass, where the gunner has less guns than the pilot, is the fact that, in essence, you go, why do I need the pilot? Why do I need the gunner? Because I'm doing all the heavy lifting, and it makes, until engineering comes in where that gunner has another purpose. There's you're basically saying, yeah, you're going to be bored out of your brain because I'm having all the fun. You're just picking up the scraps, and that to me does not feel like good gameplay. But
you would be surprised when you get into PvP and high tier PvP. You would be surprised how many times the pilot just can't get the shots he needs to finish off a fighter, that if it slips behind you, you're done. You'll never see that fighter again. It's going to sit behind you on your tail and smash you. But the like top turret will pick off that light fighter as it passes over and finish it off, so you don't have that. So it really comes down to, like we said, squadron formations, and you guys have been through it a million times. So
yeah. Anyway, next question. Done that one. So drop Joget. How to enter the drawing? I'm assuming the draw for the Apollo.
What was the time?
8:30. These are all like 8:30.
Yeah, so probably the draw was only for Citizencon. It was 150 tickets. They're gone. If you're talking about the other one, it was the Apollo. But that was a rare thing to help out Algared. We basically, I wasn't even sure it was going to work. I just basically called Algared in the middle of Citizencon and said, I've got this harebrained idea.
Yeah, do it.
How do you feel if we us people, we give away a pallet and there's a limited number of tickets, and so it was exclusive for them to encourage them to apply then, and so it was $10 per ticket, and basically that allowed Algared to get his video card, and it paid for the ship itself all in one go. So, yeah.
But there is still a draw coming, and that is for the Apollo Medivac, and go to our buyer's guide on the Apollo. Make sure a subscriber and it's visible, and leave a comment, and then you're in the draw.
Actually, for the people that did donate, and for my own curiosity, have you got in and actually tried Star System on the new card?
No, because I only put it in last night.
Well, that is slack, Algared. I expect a full report next week.
Well,
500 pages or less.
I would have been on, but I had a live stream to do this morning. So
that's slack. That's just slack.
I know. Just prioritizing
but I think,
a live stream with somebody.
Yeah, I think people are going to want to hear if you notice a difference, and I think you will. I think most of us are going to agree after 8 years going from that to that is going to be a massive bump in.
Is it 1080 to 5 series?
He went from a 1080 to
1080 Ti to a 570.
Yeah, it's 50,
yeah,
70.
It's a
massive
jump.
Yeah, it's a huge jump. It's 8 years. Yeah.
Like even the TI had only 11 gigabytes of RAM. This has 13, I think it was. So,
mind you, I miss the 1080. The 1080 is absolutely was a workhorse. That was a powerful card that lived for a million years. But it'll go down in history as one of the greatest.
We'll never get another 1080, will we?
Yeah, we'll never get a
that 1080 was an absolute beast. And for so long, I was able to go, I need to upgrade, but hey, it's still running the game. It's still doing everything, and it's
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
I was trying to look at some benchmarks just to give people a perspective, but it doesn't really show. Here you go. Effective speed is up by 130%. So it's going to be more than double a boost.
That's always nice to know.
Yeah, I actually had a Titan from the 1080 series, and it's easily been the best card I've ever owned.
Yeah,
they were kings. And I gave it to my brother, and I said, when you're finished with this, I want it back. Because I'm just gonna put it on the wall or something because I think it's like memorabilia.
It's funny you should say that. My brother is like a super PC enthusiast. My older brother. That's where I got into it. And this is not a joke. Next to the in fact, he's got 2 children, and above his mantle, he's got a photo of one kid, a photo of another kid, and a framed 1080i in the middle between his kids.
Where does his heart lie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The real baby. The real baby. Yeah.
That's right, the real baby.
Yeah.
The others were just adopted, right? Yeah.
The size increase in those 8 years too is nuts. Like I was showing Algared, I got a photo somewhere. I'd have to go back through Discord to look at it. But I had that 1080 or a Titan. It was I think it was the Titan X or whatever. But I put that next to my new video card and I sent Algared a photo. And I think I sent it to you too, didn't I, Piggles, at one point? But it's literally 4 times the size. The 5080 is 4 times the size of that.
Yeah, I remember you had the Pascal
Well,
Titan.
even
the
the 5070 was a third bigger. So it takes up
wow.
3 slots.
Guys, I'll be back in just 1 sec. My dog needs to just use a loo. I'll be back in a sec.
But man, that makes it about the same size as the 5080 then. Or
So
similar size.
so the 1080 was taking 2 slots.
Yeah.
And I had to pull out another bar a little gate to actually fit the 570 in or the 5070 in.
I went from a 980 to my current card, which is a 4090, which is quite the jump.
Yep.
Yeah, Harvest Dubois says middle child love is what Bob's brother's doing. So yeah.
All right, I'll do this way. It's gone. Bang. There we go. I can edit him out real quick.
Slipcore. Yeah, the joy of our of the setup you've got. Then we can just hit a button and change for.
Yeah, well, it takes a little bit of background stuff, but I'm learning slowly.
Yep.
All right, next question.
Slowly. Slipcore. Here's a question on hauling. Have you looked into the whole C issues yet? It seems that since the PTU, it seems absolutely broken and not able to do or able to load cargo.
Well, they are working with the cargo walls we know at the moment, so I'd assume that there's probably some things working on that ship specifically in the background, and so maybe that's why some of the stuff is broken. But it being what would you call it? The premier ship, so to speak, to come with those loading walls, I'd expecting that thing would be getting a bit of a pass. So yeah, I'd say it's teething issues is what I would say that would be.
I'd put it down to something like that. As we keep saying, it's balanced. It'll get worked on. It'll get fixed.
Yeah, as all
just
ships.
Not as quickly as we necessarily want.
Yeah, or like.
Always the big factor there.
Yep. All right, next question.
Next question is, I'm just going to wait because I've got to make it so I can see the question. It's from Viking Lord, 1976. 1976, a very good year. Do you think building will be in soon?
I think that was their plan. But let's be honest, when plans and CIG come along, they don't tend to go hand in hand. Yeah.
I've actually got something to say on building.
Ooh, okay.
Not necessarily a release date, but in the the game executable includes various definitions for it communicating to the server, and there's been slow inclusions and updates of messages that deal with like land claims and things like that. So there's definitely a few bits working its way into the game, but yeah, don't get too excited. There's quite a lot in there that isn't used.
Sooner than later, but not as soon as you think.
Yeah, but it's not like it's something that's just been sat there and abandoned. It's definitely slowly working its way in.
I do remember at Citizencon last year they said it will be sooner than we think, and it's been a year, so it's definitely not as soon as I thought it was going to be,
and not as soon as they thought it would be. But I think that's also the nature of design and development, isn't it? You make your plans and you work towards them, and then you come across a blocker, and it could be a bug, could be something else. So
would you agree with this statement? Oh, you're back, Bops. Hang on. Would you agree with this statement? If we are sitting here at the same time next year, I would be very surprised if it's not in by then. Considering the Pioneer will more than likely be at AIE next year, I think we'd have to have it before then.
I think we're getting base building a tier 0 very, very soon.
Did
If you think about it, but base building is.
Did you hear what Piggles said at all while you were walking around or not?
Yeah, I did.
Cool, yeah.
I think that crafting is tier 0 base building, because we need to be able to craft all of the different materials and minerals and whatnot we need to begin to
They're
build the
interlinked.
structures that we need to build. Yeah. They're incredibly interlinked, and they literally just mentioned it at Citizencon, the beginnings of crafting. So that in my mind, and if you guys think differently, please tell me. But that's that's base building beginning. That's the first step on the road of a very long journey.
Yeah, I kind of want to ask that question too. I had a people kind of ask me this during the week, and I think it was asked on your stream too, Bops, about how crafting is going to work. And essentially, if you think about the one they showed off at CitizenCon, it's essentially a large microwave, right? And it's going to have the item come out on a tray, right? So we saw it coming out, but people had questions of like, how do you put it in? Do I put all the individual things? Is it like a cargo grid? I put all the ingredients in, put it in, close the door, press the button, and it just, like a microwave, it just cooks it together. I think that's kind of cool being physicalized like that. But some other people show concerns when it comes to quantity. And I think the thing that they're not understanding is we know that there are going to be bigger and bigger machines essentially that can do the crafting. So don't you just put more ingredients that's in bigger boxes into a bigger machine, and it can literally just make those things come out at scale. So I need, 5 metal, 5 clay, and 5 water. I'm just making things up, right? To make said gun or whatever. But I put in 100 times that, but they're in bigger cargo crates, and I just say, now make me 100 of those of that said gun, and it just bing, and it comes out like you just put in a bigger machine.
Even when you go to building a vehicle, you'd have a vehicle fabricator, and so the area comes out is basically a garage. It just
but you get what I'm saying, like because I think people are thinking, well, this gun has to be made in this machine because it's the size of this machine. But can't you, if it's just a cargo grid, can't you literally just go, I want 100 of this gun, and they'll fit on the cargo grid of a bigger machine, so it just spits out 100 guns. Yeah, that way you just got the materials put in there, and again you just put a bigger box in. I think it's totally fine.
They could do that. They could split it down to components. Vehicles, ships.
I think it'll be I think and I'm not really qualified to talk about this because I'm not someone who plays a lot of like Rust or base building games. The most I've done is like Sons of the Forest or whatever. But I think that like the fundamental first pillar of a base that seals your land claim will be an elevator of some description. And I think that crafting will probably be pretty intricately connected to the storage of that elevator. I'm using the word elevator, but something that brings items to you, because you're not going to have a base where you can't bring a ship up. And fly away from that base, right? I can't see a world where they do that. So I think that like me owning this land means I have you start with a small elevator of some description, and that's where if you've got something that's fabricating, you can choose to have it fabricate and spit it out right there in front of you, or send it to the storage of the location that you're in to be brought up in an elevator. That's what I think. Again, I'm not very qualified, so I don't know.
The main concern was like when you get up to quantity, it physically having to move the cargo around becomes a problem. And again, it's something me and Algared have talked about a lot of times, like where they've limited quests at the moment to essentially be locked to 4 SCs. Like the resource drive was really annoying. It's like, well, if I could just have this as in 32 SU cargo containers, it wouldn't take me half as long. And I think that's the thing that's kind of missing. Yeah, Elliot, Elliot's back. Elliot, why can't I get 32 SU cargo containers and just put 4 SU cargo boxes inside the 32 container? Why don't you sell 32 SU cargo containers? And I know what the reason is. It's because you're trying to force the gameplay. I know it, but I need you to say it for everyone else's sanity. Mainly for mine.
Also, Elliot, why can't I increase the size of the bucket in my shiv?
It doesn't have anything to do with the ships.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He does the missions. Right?
Why can't I have a mission to get a bigger bucket for my shiv?
Yeah,
exactly. What's going on here?
Fuck would I know? Yeah, that's exactly what we should reply. Yeah. My land will just have a toilet on it, and it will have a sign that says PC 101. Oh, Harsh but fair. I said 4SU for the event on purpose. Yeah, because you're trying to keep it fair for everyone. I know why it was. It's bloody annoying. But buckets come standard size. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And there's a question later that came up, like what's going to happen when the gravity gets kicked out on the shiv? Like, just remember when
That's why
liquid's
it's got a door.
Just remember when liquid goes into space, Elliot, that it turns spherical and it clings together. So you just make it look like a chocolate ball and you'll be fine.
But fortunately, it's got a door.
Yeah.
You know, so it just stays in that room.
Yeah.
Shiv is gonna hit the fan.
There's so many memes they make themselves.
I hope not, because the only fan I've seen on the shiv is right in front
It's the one in front of the console.
I was actually saying it would be really cool if like one of the fins were broken off that fan just to show that it was like reclaimed or whatever. Edible chocolate ball. No. Not edible, Elliot. Too far. That was the other thing we learned about the Brits. They love their toilet humor. I couldn't, like, I was so crass for me. But
it was Elliot who first said, you know, John will like that. John will love that.
Yeah.
So we had the two pictures. One was the toilet humor one, and we both went, no, you can't do that. That's no.
That's too crass.
No.
And he's like, oh, John will love that. So,
and and Ben and John both loved it. I think we had two copies. One was the good one, which was framed, and the other one was the one that didn't quite work out.
It was too
John's
large
got
for
the
the frame.
one.
Yeah.
John's got the frame one, and Ben took the other one and hung it in his office apparently.
He's like, oh yeah, thanks, John. Thanks for this. Just what I wanted, a photo that represents my boss shitting on me. Yeah, thanks.
But they loved it. I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, but they're useful, Elliot. They're useful. There's
not the ones I work with.
Sorry, you got to know the back context. I'm just remembering what you were saying about the. Tell them the story about the kids got cancer with your haircut. Yeah, that was so funny. I was like, oh my god, that was so good. That was so good. His boss was giving him shit, and he just made it feel so guilty. It was so good. Anyway, right. Next question, please, Algared.
Stone Knight 11 says, do you think there will be a version of the Ares that has super special beam weapon seen at Citizencon as the current ones are not killers?
It was heavily hinted that there's something like that coming. I wouldn't rule anything out. Essentially, I've got it written down here somewhere. Where is it? So this is the big mystery for me, right? And I've even got it. Oh, got it. So there, yeah. There so the Stinger, right? So these are the ships: RSI Salvager, Shiv, and the Hermes. But the Stinger, the reason why I've bracketed like that is, was it a known ship? And technically, it was known. It was never really announced. But do you consider it announced or unannounced? And I'd consider it kind of announced because they did kind of talk about it. So that implies to me that there's possibly another ship. Right, and that's what I'm trying. I was trying to, like, the numbers didn't add up, and I'm trying to figure out why the numbers didn't add up. And so I'm thinking there's another ship, and that may be it. But the other thing that's missing, if you kind of look at it, is if you go in looking at the ships that are there, you've got a starter ship in the RSI Salvager, you've got the Hermes that would be roughly around about a large medium, and then so you're essentially missing a medium or a large, is what I'm trying to imply. So does the Ares fit that bill? Not really. I
have something.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you go again.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna. I have something to say about this. I had a revelation after a chat we had execute a while back. This is when we very first got chatting about beam weapons. I want to take you all back to when the Crab was released, the Defender. And it was the first ship in the game that had hit scan weapons. Now, if you don't understand the concept of hit scan, guys, it's when I point my cursor over the top of something, I pull the trigger, and the moment I pull that trigger, what I'm looking at takes damage. There might be a visual indicator of something shooting out, but it is taking damage the moment I pull that trigger at any distance.
Like a laser, basically, like a instant.
Now you're starting to get to my point, which is the crab had hit scan weapons, the tachyon guns, and they were incredible, and they were so very, very strong. So much so that they got rid of them. Now, what is a laser, if not a hit scan weapon?
Yeah.
Now, if a hit scan weapon is on the nose of a Idris with 5 degrees of turn, well, then it's all of a sudden doesn't feel as broken as something that's on a light fighter with instant hit scan attack. And I mean the term attack as in instant start, not as in attacking something. So while I think they may have, I don't know, and I'd love to chat to someone at CRG, I think they may have been experimenting with the laser on the Ares, and I think they immediately went, oh my god, this is just a hit scan weapon, and it's going to be very, very broken.
And I disagree with you on that, because if you think about it, it's the only weapon the ship has. That ship does not turn very well, right?
Yeah.
And
it's like the Idris. You're good.
And the Ares itself is really prone to other fighters, as I showed you in AC the other night. It would be the perfect ship to put it on, because you're essentially giving up everything else to gain that ability. So again, it's a ship much like the Perseus that needs to be escorted. It needs to be taken care of for it to do its job. So again, a massive negative for a gain, like a glass cannon, essentially.
But
and so
you give it the
works.
time to do its job, and you're going to pay for
Plus,
it. Plus,
it would look so sweet to see 2 Ares just rotating around a Polaris, just beaming it, just. I mean, I want that visual.
I want them to call it like the butter knife or something like that. You know, like a hot knife through butter. Yeah, because it's going to look like it's essentially like a flying lightsaber, is what it's going to be. You know?
You almost want that, because every sci-fi movie has that big battle scene where the big ship's been sliced into, and you got those. You're going to want that at some point in the game. You're going to want to do that, and so.
Well, Elliot was here. We could have asked him, but like I don't want to put pressure on him. But long story short, everything we saw at Nix was so combat focused. Look at the 3 ships we got. They were essentially all flying gunships of different sizes. I have to assume that trend is going to continue with the Perseus. If this Ares beam thing is real, I can totally see it. It makes sense. It's almost like it's all combat, all channels.
Well, you even look at the way the end mission goes. You get the band will turn up, and they keep coming in waves and getting stronger and stronger. If that's not combat focused, that I don't know what is.
Well, we were discussing it last night on my stream. Like Nix is the PvP system. That's what it is. It's absolutely the PvP system, and I'm very excited for it. So we'll see how it plays out when it drops. And if we've got sweet beam Ares when we get there, well, then you and I execute going hunting. For sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Just
go ahead, Lemon.
Just one thing with Nix being the PvP system, I think they said that it wasn't. Yeah. Because like a lot of people were expecting that Nix was going to be like lawless, and it's absolutely not. I think there's going to be beacons.
Oh, there's a.
I think you're gonna. I think there's
there's
some. Yeah. Read what. Let me just finish this. Actually, we'll come back to it because there's more conversation. But yeah, read what Elliot said, please.
Elliot says in terms of that, the Nix system and is a combat. He says we have some combat stuff. Yes, we have a range of content, and then you can take that where you go.
Yeah.
Well, Nix has it's basically going to be lawless. Pirates pirates are going to move out of Stanton because I'm not a pirate player. Just to be clear, I PvP, but I'm not a pirate player. So I know I've got hostility in the past talking about PvP, but I'm not the pirate. I'm the guy who kills the pirates. That's what I do, right?
Yeah.
But Nix is going to be an open and basically lawless system. There's no points of interest originally, like major points of interest, because we don't have the planets to scatter everything out. There's going to be 2 entry points that are going to be easily farmed by pirates with their mantises to ensure that if you're coming anywhere near Levski, you're going to be getting ripped out of hyperspace. And what's going to happen is you're going to have all of these like supply line.
Look what Ellie just said. That's
you're gonna
exactly
have
what a pirate would say.
You have all these supply line gamers, which is I call like cargo runners and salvagers and all that sort of stuff. Well, you have all these supply line guys who are going to want to be engaging with all of the supply line stuff in Nix, but that's exactly where the pirates are going to go is to hunt those supply line guys,
Well,
which means that I'm going to be coming to fight those pirates, and Nyx is
yeah,
going to turn
if
into a
you-
massive PvP brawl. It's
So
going to be huge.
if you've got Stanton that's lawful, Pyro that's unlawful, and you've essentially got in the middle, you've got Nyx, where do you think those two groups are going to be meeting?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just,
Yeah, the supply line gamers
Yeah.
don't go to Pyro. So there's right now there's no PvP in Pyro ever.
Yeah.
Because the supply line gamers don't go to Pyro. Occasionally you get exec hangers or maybe a Saccharin's run. But trust me, I spend all my time in Pyro, and half the time I'm just looking for anyone to engage with. Pyro's the safe system.
I wouldn't
That
say
is the safe system.
I wouldn't say Nyx is going to be the pirate system. I'm going to say say it's going to be the system where people meet. Right, you've got the Vandal coming in there. As soon as they add in scanning, which I think is really close because it's on the roadmap, a lot of the PvPers aren't going to be pirates anymore. They're going to be escorts.
Oh, and the other aspect is, even if you've got PvP pirates / haulers, and you suddenly get the Vandal turn up, for the sake of your own survival, you're going to stop your fight and take on the Vandal because they won't have favourites. They'll just kill you all. So, at least I hope.
Yeah, that's good in premise, but I mean, a lot of the pirates, and I have big quotes around that word.
Yep.
Just want to see people rage. That's why they stream snipe. That's why they do what they do.
Yeah, some people are like that, but not all of them.
Yep.
And I for every stream sniper out there, I know there are people that legitimately enjoy the PvP. Like I reckon at one point, Bops, it'd be really cool to do a show with yourself, myself, and Agent Letty, right? Because Agent Letty is full hardcore pirate, but he's got a code that he operates with him, right? And and when he talks about the game systems that are missing and stuff like that, you can legitimately, like, he's not going to sit down there and kind of like sweat lord at you. He literally just likes that gameplay, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right?
The pirates are important. They're part of the cycle. You for the economy to work.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's no one wants to be pirated, and I totally get it. Like I've been out there salvaging in my reclaimer because I do dabble in other stuff as well. I've been out there salvaging my reclaimer and had a bunch of pirates show up and extort me for everything, and it was a great experience. But at the same time, it's like, there goes $2 million. I can't believe it. So no one wants to be pirated. I get that, but you've got to have your supply line gamers who are the sheep that get preyed on by the pirates, which forces the supply line gamers to request people like us to come and protect them. Because I've talked about this before in the past. Right now, there's so many systems missing because the game's in development. Right now, there's bounty contracts for guys like me who try and play the good side of the law. But if someone's got a bounty, it's too late. Someone else has been murked, and that's how that guy got that bounty. What we need is systems as the good guys to keep you safe, so that we're not going after the person who's already sent you and already wasted your time and already stolen your cargo. We're there to keep you safe from the start from those pirates, and that will come in time. I'm sure it will come in time. But right now,
I get part of the problem there is also, I'm going somewhere. I've contracted you as my escort to keep me safe.
Yeah.
And because there's nothing happening there, I'm there mining for salvaging for several hours, and you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs.
Correct. Yep.
And bored out of your brain. It's worse than being a gunner on a ship where you've got pea shooters compared to everything.
But if you're there to make money, you're there to make.
Hang on, Pistol Pete says we need consequences for poor choices. Blasphemy. Go ahead.
So I've thought about this a lot, and I've only recently started thinking about it because I always knew that escort gameplay would come at some point, but it was Execute coming in. He's been probing me heaps because Execute's been hanging out on my stream saying hi a bunch, and I appreciate you for that, X. But he's been probing me saying, so when escort comes, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I've really started to think about it more in that if you're doing escort missions, you're either doing it for the moral justification of keeping people safe, or you're doing it for the money. Right? They're the two reasons that you're going to be doing escort missions. So if you're there to get paid, whatever, you sit there, you throw on a YouTube video while Joe mines his rocks and you keep him safe the entire time. Or you're there for the moral justification of being part of the community, in which case you do what I would be doing, which is buzzing around his cockpit in a little arrow the whole time going, what are you doing? Are you mining? Do you need any help there? And it's like,
so what you told me is I should never hire Dafty Digit or Arrow as security guard escorts because they turn up late and I'll already be dead. Right. Okay.
So there's a major problem with that is that those sheep that you're talking about, those sheep will not stay sheep forever. They will just quit the game. If somebody just gets punched in the face over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, they just won't log in.
But you're not looking at the bigger picture. There's going to be high sec areas. There's going to be low sec areas. Like, there's a way bigger picture here, Lemming. A way bigger
literally
picture.
What those three places are. So Stanton will be high tech. Nix will be medium sec, and Pyro will be low sec. Right. That's why they're the first three going in.
But Stanton isn't high sec.
It will be. See, this is the thing. You got to remember. It's like Bob says. There is different. You can't just go, the game is on. You've got to put it in piece by piece because it's got to be built. Normally, we only see a game right at the end when it's had all the pieces in. So you got to look at it from a developer's perspective. Yeah. As they add things in, it's constantly in development and it just creates more headaches. It's a cart before the horse problem that we always talk about, right? So I would have to assume bringing scanning in. One of the things that I think would be a priority for CIG, you guys can correct me if I'm thinking I'm wrong, but they definitely want the ability for there to be a mission board of some description for you to say, I need an escort. That needs to be a bare minimum when you put scanning in.
So I want to address somebody in Twitch chat. I'm not going to say who it was, but how many times have I been pirated? I can't even tell you how many times that I've been pirated. It's so bad.
Sounds like you need to hire non-stop. Wait, I need like a cape or something. Non-stop Bobs to the rescue.
Non-stop Bobs.
Yeah.
That was my question, Lemming. Yeah. Have you ever once put out a request for an escort?
You'd be surprised if you just ask in chat. There are people that want to do that.
We're all hanging out. Me and 40 other guys are standing around just waiting, just begging one person to say, hey, can you help me do a run from Stanton to Pyro, or help me get my stuff from Crusader to? We're all there waiting. There's just not the game systems to keep us safe. But let me just get this out as well, because of the nature of my stream, I do a lot of PvP, but I train a lot of new guys, and I also try and engage with like a very optimistic and positive part of the community, because that's the way that I operate. With that come a lot of supply line gamers. Believe it or not, even though I'm a mainly PvP stream, I'd say the vast majority of my audience is probably not necessarily PvP oriented. They dabble in all sorts of stuff, not just PvP. But you get extremes. All right. And with extremes, there's always going to be disagreements about this topic. It's a hot topic, PvP, and it's a hot topic when it comes to like whether or not it's consensual or this sort of thing. You're going to get people who are way over on one side who literally don't want to engage with other players at all, not just PvP. They don't even want to see other people walking around their space stations, right? And then you get people who are on the complete other direction that are pirates that are there specifically to troll or engage in a very, very interesting way. It's about being a centrist and looking at the scope and picture of the entire game and the long-term outcomes of the entire game, rather than the fact that right now you're in Stanton, the only system you have, getting pirated at OMs constantly.
There's a lot of replies coming in chat, so I just want to address some of them because these are right on point. So Main Bryant brings up a good point. He says people post ads on UEX. Elliot replies, why should he's got in comments, why should I have to ask for an escort and pay with my money? Well, I think that's going to be the cost of doing business, is what Elliot's kind of implying. And again, if you go back and look at those original gameplay design docs, there is just so much shit that's not in the game right now. I think, Lemming, when it gets here, you'll have a realization moment, and I understand your frustration right now because I hear it from a lot of people that are really frustrated, like really frustrated that they can't do the gameplay they want to do because it's interrupted by a pirate. But you got to remember, if you put yourself in the pirate shoes, he's just doing the gameplay he wants to do.
No, he's absolutely not. When there's 8 people in Vanguards that all ram your ship, because Vanguards have the most hit points. I mean, an Idris can't handle that many people.
That's not pirating. That's trolling.
That's griefing.
In that case,
right?
That's griefing.
That's not pirating.
We're not talking about griefing. Hey, Lemmings, we're not talking about griefing.
Yeah, we're talking about Yeah.
gameplay systems.
That's different, mate.
If there's griefing,
Yeah.
report it and move on, man.
Yeah,
Don't let
yeah.
it live rent free in your mind.
Yeah.
Move past it, or you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. And again, and again, I'd also say there are systems not in the game enough to handle that. Yeah, I 100% agree. That's griefing. That's not pirating.
Yeah, there's plenty of griefers, Lemmings, but don't, the best thing to do is just move past it, man. If you get bogged down on griefers, you'll go crazy.
Yeah,
you'll go so crazy.
That's kind of what I meant with Agent Letty. Like, he's pirating. He's not griefing. There is.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree there is very much difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. But like, I don't see how an escort is going to protect you from somebody who a single person just rams your caterpillar.
Yep.
Again,
Like,
though,
what?
that's griefing, not
Yeah.
If pirates are showing up to engage in pirate activity, then hell yeah, 1 or 2 people will keep you nice and safe. Let's put it this way: there's a video on my stream you guys can all go check out where I 1v15'd a bunch of pirates. So you pay for the right players. You can absolutely smash any pirate nerds that turn up. I beat people in the Reliant Tanner, the 85X. So anyway.
Go ahead, Algared.
Cody
Pay
Cooper.
for protection.
Cody Cooper, thank you for that super chat. He says a lot of us cargo bods are flyers, lone wolves, but would answer the call for help.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that too. Sorry, X. I remember this is in the old flight model back in like 2001. Sorry, 2021. I remember at Lagrange, one of my friends, I didn't even know he was playing, said, "Can someone help me? I'm being pirated." And he was being proper pirated. He was locked down, had the engines of his Cutlass blown off, and the entire server lit up and said, "Yep, where are you? On your way." And people saying, "Oh, I'll bring my Constellation. I can't really fly." And like people regulate if you start to put the call out and have a chat. So
if people are griefing, I think you'll be surprised because they like to punish that shit.
well, even in that case, the guy was being pirated properly, and the server went, "Yep, we're coming."
Yeah.
Right.
So-
That's 1,000% different than what I've been experiencing.
You need to make
Very
new
recently.
friends then, Florida man.
Well,
Get out of Florida and get into the Aussie server. We will come help you.
that's the problem is that one of my friends attracts it. So yeah.
Oh,
Well,
he's probably antagonizing him. You don't poke a bear with a stick, mate.
Nope.
Like,
Nope.
I don't know.
anyway,
But-
what's the next question?
But long story short, Lemming, we'll try and find some people for you to play with that can then escort you and stuff. I think you'll be fine. There's definitely people out there for that gameplay.
Main Bane also made a comment on in terms of the whole
Hang
mix.
on. That's the insult. Says Lemming, we can arrange a hit for you, right?
So Main Bane is talking about the way
hang
we're
on,
bringing
Algared.
the
Hang on, Algared. We got a raid from Citizen Spooner. Thank you, Citizen Spooner.
Hey, Spoon.
Appreciate that raid. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Welcome
you for
in.
the raid.
Sorry,
Awesome.
Algared. I know I kept interrupting you. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So he was saying that one of the things that gets him is the fact that you're going to be able to go to Nix without going through Pyro. And I actually don't see a problem with that. Like, yes, Stanton does not have the link to Nix, but if you look at Nix has 7 jump points. So in the wider game, you are going to be able to get to Nix without going through Pyro. So I don't think it's as big an issue as some people make, and I think you've got to remember at the moment the game is being made so that we can play and enjoy all the aspects of it, not just so
it's about breathing life into Pyro, though.
Yeah.
And I think people struggle to articulate what they're saying. Oh, there's no, but like they're doing the classic very, very loud minority. But the reason that I think most people wanted the jump point to force you to go through Pyro is because Pyro has such a low player count. I go to American servers, Euro servers, Australian servers. The first thing I do is hit the tilde key, throw in display info to see how many people are on the Pyro shards. And it's so minimal. You'll have like 30 people in Pyro and 600 in Stanton. And that's fine. I get it. Pyro's not your playstyle.
Hang on.
But having to force people to make the run through Pyro to Nix and back from Nix to Pyro, that's exciting. It breathes life into the environment and will actually, for the first time, bring Pyro like to the forefront, make it alive, make those runs to get your cargo from one system to another super exciting. It will make people say, I've got to go through Pyro. I do need to get some protection because now pirates will hang out in Pyro. It just would have been so good for the game systems, the economy, the game flow, like all of these things come together. But instead, it's just going to be Johnny going, oh, I'll see what Nyx looks like. Okay, I've been to Nyx and I'll go back to, like, it takes that journey out of the game. For the now, not for the future.
The server layout supports that too. They started out by 5 dynamic servers for each, then they moved to 6 to 4, now we're up to 7 to 3. So 7 for Stanton, 3 for Pyro.
It's 8-2, I think, actually.
8-2. Oh shit, it's gone the other way. Oh, the last I saw was 7-3, and that was on the PTU. So I don't know, maybe it's changed again.
And I get that, because one of the very first things you said to me the other day, Bots, was you need to come into Pyro.
Yeah, for sure. It's amazing.
You need to come into Pyro.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Lemming Sylvia says, whatever the client wants. My question was, do you wear fishnets while escorting? So you're in, Lemming.
Yeah, whatever the client wants. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a matter of trying to get the players there. And my biggest reticence about going to Pyro is not a worry that I'll get raided or anything. It's just I'm time poor. And so when I've got the time, okay, I want to learn to fly my ships. I want to do this, and so because I'm time poor, it limits where I end up playing. So it's kind of a catch-22.
But the excitement of, okay, I've just spent $2 million on rocks and as a dirt merchant in Nyx, and now I'm going to go dirt merchant that in Pyro, and the run of running 2 million through Pyro the entire way, and you'll be doing all those things that I know you. There are some extremely talented cargo game players who know they have to like jump halfway to a point, jump to another point to make sure they don't get interdicted, and there'd be pirates setting up with interdiction ships between Pyro and Nyx and Stanton, and it just would have created such a fun interactive environment. And if you wanted to avoid that, you could just stay in Nyx or just stay in Stanton. But for those who wanted to make the big bucks, it's now just another jump gate to stand at, wibble through and come out the other side of, instead of that.
The game, long after a long time away, pre-pilot, been back a month, so I'm still not had it. Was kind of saving the curiosity of the place. I'm gonna be honest, like if you were worried about losing your shit in Pyro, strip all your shit off, leave it in Stanton, get in a ship, and just go explore. Because all you're going to lose is that, and when you die, you'll go back to where you came from, right? But the system is, like Bops has said it really well, the system is so big, it is so hard for them to cover the whole thing and pirate it, right? And there's just so much, like, there's so much newer tech there in Pyro that you just need to see. And I guess Nyx is about to come out, right? So you could obviously do the same thing in Nyx, but there's just so much in there that you're missing. Like, you're literally giving up almost half the game. Like it's
more than half. It's a bigger system.
It is a bigger system, but there is also less planets though, so it kind of pans out in a way.
Is there though? Like when you look at like Pyro 5 and all of the bases, the
landing
points of interest, you've got Monarchs, Pyro 1, all the landing zones, Terminus, Bloom. You've got all the moons that surround Pyro 5, and on top of that as well, I've said this a million times. Playing in Pyro, let's take all of the people who are in Pyro, whether that's pirates or all of that, because I know people are like, I don't want to get pirated, I'm not going to Pyro. I get that.
I have never been pirated in Pyro. Never.
Neither have I.
Not once. It's always in Stanton.
It's always in Stanton.
I haven't been pirated.
But if you look at Pyro, it's like playing in 2025. I say this again and again. Stanton, for me, feels like a game in 2014, 2016. Just like graphically, the locations, these sort of things. The only place that looks like super future is maybe Daymar because of the way the lighting works off of Daymar, or Orison because of the way the cloud tech works on Orison. But everything else looks pretty dated. I know that'll change with Planet Tech, but this is my point. If you want to see what they can do with Planet Tech, if you want to see where Star Citizen is now, how beautiful that game can be, go take an M50 and scream along the surface of Bloom. Go grab a dirt buggy and rip along the surface of Monarchs. Go to Pyro 4, sit there at Saccharin's Run in a shantytown with people walking all around you and the noises of a little tiny shantytown, staring up at the cliffs, looking at the gas giant that your planet is orbiting while the red sun of Pyro hits the ocean and bounces off the water. It is spectacular, and it's such a shame to just be in Microtech again well, in 2014 when you can be in Pyro in 2025. It looks so good. It looks so
just
good.
highlighting, I'm not going to call people out by name, but one person is saying that basically there's no reason to travel to other systems. And another person was saying would have been really good to kind of be able to have a race or missions that go through. I think they're all coming. Like they kind of talked about that at Citizencon, that they're now going to have missions that take you from Pyro to Nyx. And I have to assume there's going to be some kind of cargo delivery mission that literally goes around all three. Right. And again, every time we add a system to that and we get that original line of 5, there will eventually be missions that go through all 5. And I think that will be exciting. But again, it shows you that the tech was not there to do that. So again, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe there will be missions that push more people into Pyro now. Now we actually have the tech that can allow a mission to go between 2 systems.
Yeah, and I think even if there's not missions that push you between systems, I can guarantee the players will create races that go between the systems.
Well, I forced you into Pyro, Algared, didn't I? And I think you've gone back. I forced you into Pyro, and you've gone back a few more times.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, but you hadn't been there for ages. And then I made you go, and now you've gone more frequently because you realise it's not scary. So what I'm saying is,
nothing about that at all.
Let me put it this way: there are some people that are scared to go there because of this piracy tag of it, right?
Yep.
But if you strip all your shit off, right, and you literally just chuck on a sperm suit,
mate,
and you jump in a ship, you've got nothing to lose. So I think you'd agree with that, though, Algared, yeah?
Absolutely. Even in Stanton, I do that.
Yeah. All I'm saying is,
Stanton, if I take out a Nidris in Stanton, it does not have a main gun. The pilot is weaponless.
Yeah.
Because what's the point?
Yeah.
So
I have to go check it again. But if it's 2 to 8, that just tells you everything. Like most of the people in Stanton, more people, more death.
Yep.
You know, there's a reason why there's more crimes in big cities than small regional areas because there's more people. It's just that simple.
I will say this too, though.
Ratio.
If you are coming to Pyro, what you should do, if you go to Grimhex, you're probably going to get into a fight, right?
I was just waiting for you to go, if you come into Pyro, you got to dress the part, bring your shiv.
Bring your shiv.
Armor up, all the guns, cover yourself in blood and just walk in. Be one of the locals.
If you go to OM1 on Crusader, you're going to get into a fight. If you go to Grimhex, you're going to get into a fight, right? It's the same in Pyro. There are locations that will have some more PvP. So if you go to the PYAM executive hangars, you're in for a fight, and a big one. But if you go to Saccharins, right, you're probably in for a fight because Partilium, for all you cargo runners out there, there's a cargo that you can buy there in loads of 30 that sells for millions. You want to make some money? Find out what Partilium is. But if you go there, you are going to get into a fight in that location, right? So do your research. But like I said, most of Pyro is just a fun, beautiful environment that you can go and mine for hours in or cargo run for hours in, and you'll never see another player. You'll never interact with one because there's no one there, because there's not a single person.
It really is showing that cart before the horse thing of being able to get these 2 different gameplay people together. Because like when we had the orbital, orbital assault, I got John Citizen to come in with me. And I brought along Voidyvids and all his people, and they're all PvP focused, and he's mining focused. And me and John would go down there and mine and get and they'll just cover us. It's the same thing with what you're describing. You need someone that really knows how to quickly do that cargo, and they can make millions together by being covered by the escort fighters. So they're both getting the gameplay they want, and it's mutually beneficial, and they're all making a mint.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do.
Find each other, people. You need to find each other, and this will just work.
Remember, you came with us on the Saccharins run, and you were like, you brought all that expertise. You're like, I'm gonna land the C2 here. I'm gonna have this Atlas in the back, and here's how we're gonna load it up. And I had no idea about any of that. Meanwhile, I'm in the sky shooting down enemy after enemy who's scrolling on in. We're running a lockdown while you're doing what you need to do, and it's finally blending all of those gameplay loops: the cargo running and the freight flight, and then the escort missions.
It feels amazing.
It's
the best
incredible
because everyone's at their peak and having their peak gameplay fun, and you're working together. It's just teammate. What is it? Teamwork
and the
makes the dream
environment
work.
is better. because I've noticed when we're doing stuff like that, I watch my viewers on Twitch skyrocket because everyone's there listening to us communicate and the things that we're doing, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is what Star Citizen can be." You've got the squadron in the air keeping stuff safe. You've got people walking around on the ground with rifles clearing buildings to make sure there's no cheeky little pirates with railguns hanging out. You've got cargo runners that are there loading up the cargo as fast as they can. Someone sitting in the cockpit of the seat ready to bail out if things go poorly. Like, that's what Star Citizen is. It's that operation. Now, I'm not saying that the individual gameplay isn't spectacular as well. You'll watch me go solo PvP for hours or go jump into a Vulture and have some fun. But it all comes together in those moments, and Pyro's where it can come together.
Now,
I got to just Aaron, 1 second. Marion Bright goes in quotes, "Hey, I'm a FPS pro looking for a miner of my dreams." Yeah, it's like a hot date. Sign up for a hot date. Yeah. Sorry, I could go ahead.
While I don't disagree with anything you're saying in terms of that combined gameplay of different roles, your comments about doing the assault, where you said, you got the guys doing the military and you and John were mining. John pipes up and says, "No, you did not." So he's arguing that he carried you into mining, and which is probably true because he's just such a good miner. But yeah,
halfway through it, we got attacked, and I actually had to jump out of the miner and save. Like, they had multiple guys go down, and I had to kill the guys and revive their guys. So I was doing dual duty, John. Let's be honest. I was the middleman. And
John was just arguing you weren't doing the mining as you initially implied. But
so I think the thing that's going to happen with me and you, Algared, specifically, is we are hyper generalists. So we're not going to be the master at anything, but we can literally jump between multiple things. That's just what you and I do.
But I think the key thing you were saying, which is the takeaway, is that gameplay of different people doing the different roles and enjoying the gameplay they like to get that job done. That was what that.
Well, I don't know about gameplay. I can't speak for John specifically, but the thing I got from Voidy, and Voidy can probably speak to this as well, was he seemed to take away an appreciation for what John did, right? And I think John, you speak for yourself, John, but I think John also said the appreciation, like getting to see the other person work in their element gave you this other perspective. And I was sitting back watching both of them going, it's fucking sick. Like, this is mad. Like, like Voidy and all that, they're all out there calling, and there's bombing coming in and all this type of shit, and they're all doing their thing. And me and John are like under pressure going, shit, fuck, right, get this work. Oh shit, he exploded. Oh shit, fuck.
That's right, John's there going, I got this.
And I'm just going, oh fuck it. But you get my point, right? Like, it was really good. Like, I just chef's kiss. It was
I
like
100% get that point. And I think that, as Bob said, that is Star Citizen.
Yeah, but I'm taken back to the last time we ran Saccharins properly with the group. We've got this player called Little Arrow, and he's our forward operator. So he'll always go in as this solo. He's a first-person master. He'll go in as this solo little hit the ground first person. He'll secure the whole location or give us the intel that we need. You've got him doing that.
He's a scout.
Yeah, he's a scout. Exactly. Then you've got me, who's just fighter pilot. That's what I do. You've got Alex, who flies the big ships and keeps them under control, and he's a master in those big honky boys. We've got cargo runners running out the back of it, and like I said, as it comes together, you get these moments that are spectacular. I remember watching Arrow catch as we're jumping in, catching a fighter off guard with a railgun from the ground and taking him out because he was too busy looking at us who had all just jumped in. At that same time, we were running, and we got the friendly A2 inbound, but because I'm an expert fighter pilot, I was able to, as he dropped the bomb, shoot the bomb as it's coming out of the bottom of his ship and kill him with his own bomb mid-air. So it's like all of these moments where you get to express yourself with your skill expression. You're the miner, you're the cargo runner, you're the salvager, you're the first person player, and it really adds value to the team in a really interesting way. Now, to be clear, I don't run with orgs, I just play with my friends. We're not there as an organization. We just get a bunch of buds that hang out and have fun, and you still get that experience.
That covers it right there. Best for the way he or she has said it is hero moments. That's it in the absolute what I'm trying to say in the shortest words possible. That's exactly what it is. And and again, it was just sitting back and appreciating all these design elements that we've seen for years and years and years, and they're all starting to coalesce. And I think the first time I heard it come out of someone else's mouth was when I was in the Polaris last year with Moist Noodle. and he said, "I've been playing this game for over a decade, and that is the most fun I've ever had in PvP." And you're talking about Moist Noodle, like he's like someone that flies all those dogfighters and stuff like that, and here he is talking about in a Polaris. It's not like it's like a complete juxtapose what you'd expect someone to say. So it was really, really cool to hear him say that.
Yep. Dirty Garden Gnome, to change the topic slightly, says, "Are there any plans to have a ship in each size profession, each size per profession, or is it per manufacturer?"
It's each size profession. So they literally have a grid where they go, we want mining, so you have small, medium, large capital. We have salvage, small, medium, large capital, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. And way down the track, yes, you may find there's one for each manufacturer, but the absolute bare minimum they want is at least one size per profession.
Well, that's why we were surprised when we saw things like the Fortune come out, because they didn't seem to make logical sense based on their sizing charts. But yeah, sorry, Bobs.
And then there's also obviously specialist companies as well. Like I would be surprised if we ever got an Argo heavy fighter, for example. Although I welcome it.
Wait. Were you surprised if we did or didn't get one?
If we did get one.
Yeah.
If we did get one.
You know, it'd be almost like saying, what's the inverse of that?
An anvil,
like an anvil miner or something. Yeah. Or
I'm sure we could make one.
An origin miner. There we go.
Tank onto it.
An origin miner, first class mining.
Yep.
Origin oil rig.
Miner.
Sorry?
Viking lore.
A Kruger miner.
Yeah. For when you don't want dirt under your fingernails.
Most important that.
Does it come with a wine bar?
76 has a question.
Yep.
They say, do you buy the storyline of grey market ships and weapons, or is it only for getting out items faster?
Can you say that again?
Do you buy the storyline of the grey market ships and weapons, or is it only the idea of getting them out faster? Getting ships and weapons out quicker.
Aesthetically, they are so wonderful, those grey market weapons. And we've talked about this over on my channel because, again, PvP focus. There is room for more development on the ship guns. I just don't think it's a focus right now. They'll get to it. So, for example, the Shiv's modified attritions on top, they do 4 less damage than a Panther, but are in every other way identical. And the ballistics are pretty similar to the Krugers. So... yeah, I think they are just sort of getting them out now, but they spent the time to visually model them, so I think they intend to balance them and balance the shivs later on.
In a weird way, where you've got Misk and Mirai, you've now got the grey market, right? And let me explain that, right? So you've essentially got this hybridization between Misk and Mirai and alien tech, right? And this is like a high-tech setup, and now we've got a low-tech setup that's, the Grey's market, which is literally just humans welding shit together, right? Yeah. So I almost think there's possibly a room for a third one in the middle there. And I think that in a way that might be Asperia. I'm just kind of trying to ballpark it a little bit, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? There's a background there in other hybridizations. Yeah.
Donnie has a question for us. Going back to merchandise, he says, "Can't you just buy a generic mouse mat? Take a Star Citizen JPEG and have it printed onto a mouse pad?" Yeah, you can, but you can't make them and sell them.
Yeah, and it's also
because that's copyright.
It's also trying to support the game within realistic expectations and not having to be extorted by postage.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't believe that's true. I think you're pulling everyone's.
I heard Elliot wipes his ass with every single one on the way out. Yeah.
Yeah. Citizen Ninja. What happened to the poo in the Shiv bucket when the power plant is damaged and loses gravity? We did talk about that because when that happens, the door opens as well.
Elliot can confirm that he has to hold every mouse pad for Chris to kiss.
There you
go. I thought when he said that, and I said after he wiped his ass with every single one, he had to hold it. I'm like, what's he holding every little bit? I was like, oh my god, too much information, Elliot. Jesus. Right.
Elliot, does he miss sometimes?
Does he miss?
Does he miss kissing sometimes and like hit you by accident? Do you catch a stray?
Yeah. Right. So what was the question? Right. We totally
You totally butchered. It was the Shiv question about the poop in the button when the grab goes off.
Yeah, you'll have to.
I think we answered that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, we kind of
Thought
did.
about that. But when, go on.
I was going to say, if that's something they want to do, they'll have to kind of look into it. But realistically, I assume it'll just float like everything else. So
just be a bucket moving. Yeah.
I wish a father that loves me. Oh my god.
The downside is also terrible. as the grab generators go off, when the power goes down, or when the power goes down and grab generators go up, the doors will also open. So then you've got real problems with that. So yeah. Anyway, Joshua AV says Carrack original concept, light from grey manufacturer, yes or no?
What?
The Carrack the original Carrack on spindly legs from Greys. Yes or no?
Oh.
I'm going to say no.
Oh
no. There's no need.
I don't think we'll get it, but I want it. I don't think we'll get it, but I want it. That'd be sweet. I don't think we'll get it.
Imagine a Carrack kind of hybrid thing where they turn it into like you take a Carrack. Like, let me put it this way: you take a Carrack, and all of a sudden you are you're converting it into a battleship by Greys or something like that. So you can take a ship that is. You see where I'm going, right? You can take any ship now and make it into something else. So like literally a Corvette made by Grey's Market. Would that be a thing that you guys would like to see, or is it just for the needs of Nyx? Is it just little fighters, or would they make a warship?
I mean, I think it depends. We just don't know. That's the problem. Is that Greys is still yet to be fleshed out.
Let me rephrase it then. Is that something you would like to see?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If I could have a capital ship that as I walk through different sections, I have to put a helmet on because this part doesn't have atmosphere or whatever. That's like that junker aesthetic is everything that I want. So if there's like a Perseus-sized Grey's Market ship, yeah, I mean,
now let's go the other way, Algared. For you, I take a hammerhead and I replace all the turrets with mining lasers. Is that something that would appeal to you?
No, because I'm not real. That's John. I thought I'd like mining a lot more than I do. I actually like salvage.
Salvage then, whatever. But you're missing the point again. Would you like to see them take military ships and go the other way? Is what I'm trying to say as well.
What I think we'll see is we will see them take those bigger ships and turn them into Greys as need arises. So, but what they'll do, I don't know. But I could see them doing a whole range of things. So,
Bops is really up for that mining hammerhead. You can tell it's written all over his face.
I thought John would be up. John would be drooling for that. But Johnny Larson.
But is it not a thing though? Like seriously, can't you see? No, I'm asking Bops because Bops didn't reply. Can't you see that going the other way? For sure. Well, we would sort of touched on this briefly the other day, talking about like a mole conversion to a salvager, right? Where you're just taking the mole from a miner to a salvager, and why not take something like you take a hurricane and you strap some sacks to the side of it and put some mining lasers on 4 mining lasers on top, so it's a speed miner or something. I don't know. Like there's room for it. You know what they need to do? Finally, I can go out mining with my Hornet.
Yep.
So what we're relating to is that when it was originally came out, they said you'd literally be able to put a mining laser on your Hornet and go out and go mining. Well, and this is from like way back in the beginning, and that's obviously not a thing anymore. But they should make that a thing.
But if you do look at your Hurricane, you do have, if you take up the turret, you can put in a cargo pod. Yeah. So there's actually a cargo pod on your Hornet that you're going to put in already. Do the other bits and pieces. Yeah, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
A Hornet repair ship, even.
Yeah.
There you go.
There should be freedom to express yourself how you want to express yourself within the game. For example, you have a lot of PvP players that say to cargo runners, "You should be letting me PvP," and you have cargo runners saying, "I don't want you to PvP." At the end of the day, people should be able to play the game how they want to play. There shouldn't be any of this. You're not doing the game how I want you to do the game.
Exactly.
That behavior. So if someone wants to go and take a freaking Idris and replace every single gun on it with mining lasers, that's their prerogative. If they can do that, that's awesome. I won't do it, but if they want to do that, that's amazing to me. And in the same way, I have dreams of taking that mole and putting ballistics on it and going out in that warhog of a mole. So,
Well, you know,
one day.
I've got to think of the Aurora in that video. I'll look. Algared, you said what you're going to say, and I'll open the video. Go ahead.
Yeah, like when you look at the way they originally designed the ships would have upgrade points or upgrade locations, not necessarily hard points, and you just put in what you wanted. I have a feeling that was something they couldn't do, or it was just too difficult, which is why we didn't go down that line. But could they maybe possibly down in the distant future reach that point? Possibly, maybe.
Yeah, well, we heard I feel so terrible. I can't remember his name. Who's the gentleman with the brown hair who sits under John Carew?
Ben Curtis.
Ben. Sorry, Ben. I forgot your name.
You excommunicated from the ship team. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Ben was talking about internal reskins for ships and stuff like that to like bring them aesthetically up to a point or down to a point, whether you want high class or down to low class. And I think that it's going to be exactly the same on the externals of the ship. You're going to be able to maybe make them look a little bit fancier, a little bit less fancy, whether put mining lasers, salvage lasers, put repeaters or cannons, whatever you want. I think they intend to have that customization. It's not a main focus right now. I think we'll get it 3-4 years in the future. That's what I think.
I found the video. Just got to go to where it is. So again, when we all thought it was going to be the Shiv. Oh, hang on, I got to bring you guys over, don't I? Right. So we all thought it was going to be this thing. Oh well, it ended up being that thing. We thought it was going to be this thing. Now it's oh god, what have I done?
Armand's activating.
Yeah, we all thought it was going to be this. So this one's obviously still to come as well. Which will be interesting. But there's the third one that pops up. Don't tell me I've got the wrong video, but there is the third one.
Which is the little Aurora.
Oh, it's not in this video.
Aurora with the Gatlings
it's in the leak. Yeah. It's in the leaked video, and I don't have a way to bring that up. But
I can send it to you. Hang on, you sent it to me a little while ago.
Yeah, but I sent it as a video. I can't open it in Firefox.
Yeah,
I'm only set up for Firefox. So basically, there's an Aurora. So imagine the cabin Aurora, but it's basically got like an extended cab and essentially is like 2 massive Gatling guns on it. So like this is like essentially modifying an Aurora to be like a heavy combat or turning the Aurora into a fighter basically. So these are the type of things you've got to start thinking about. How can I take a ship and drastically change it? So again, coming back to the one, the Flappy Bird, I can totally see that now being a graze market. Yeah. And I think we're going to see a lot more of it because it's really interesting. I don't know if Elliot, if you can speak on this, Elliot, if you're still there, but doesn't reusing art assets, and I know you can only talk from a level design perspective, but reusing art assets in level design speed things up. So can't we naturally apply that to ships in reusing ship assets? It speeds up production of said ships as well. If you would like to comment on that, Elliot, feel free.
Look how fast the ASD locations in Stanton got done after they completed the ASD locations in on Pyro 1. Pyro 1 was done, and then they took a lot of those assets and made those awesome underground facilities. There's a lot of new assets down there as well, obviously. But I can't believe the speed at which the ASD bunkers in Stanton were done. It was so quick, so quick, and so good, so good. The level design guys nailed it.
Johnny Larson has a question. Johnny Larson says, "Do you think they're going to balance the Stinger more? It feels a bit squishy for what they said in the presentation, or is it just him?"
I don't think it's squishy. I think it just has got poor maneuverability. Actually, do you want to just touch on Elliot's point there before I ramble on?
Oh fuck yeah! There is an entire process in games design called kit bashing. Yeah, exactly. It's quicker and you can make it seem very different. Like we have one pipe kit that is used across the game. So what is implying there is you can have a pipe and essentially you change the texture on it. You can put damage on it by texturing
and
it. Boom. Change the color and stuff like that. So it's the same thing with the ships. Yeah, cool. All right, sorry. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So I don't think the Shiv. I think the Shiv is pretty thick. And if you have a look at the HP pools and it's 2 sides, 2 shields, it's a pretty chunky boy. It feels anemic for 2 reasons. One, it's got a massive signature, so you're always getting hit by those missiles if you don't know how to up your flares. By the way, it's right Alt H For all you guys out there who don't engage in consistent combat, right Alt HH will make you shoot more flares when you press your flare button, and you'll stop getting hit by missiles. A little tip from Bops. But it feels anemic because it's getting clapped by missiles because of its big signature. And because it's not very maneuverable, which means those little fighters are getting on you, and you're spending all this time that you would be in, say, like a constellation, looking for that little light ship while it's zipping around you constantly. So if you learn how to distance correctly, you won't take anywhere near as much damage. For like you'll stop taking the damage that you're taking, at least in PvE. PvP, that ship is always going to be trounced by anything medium or down, because if it's 1v1, it's just going to be bullied again and again and again.
Bob, so I just sent that to you so I could then open it in Firefox. I was saving myself a bunch of
good.
So this is just, I just opened the video and I took a screenshot of it. So this is the kind of another ship that was shown off that is potentially made by the grey market. So you can see there, I couldn't tell you for the life of me what some of the other frames are from there.
Apart from
that's the mole.
Aurora.
Mole.
Yeah, that could be a mole. That could be a mole.
Yeah, it's mole.
Yeah. So again, it just shows you how, like, some of the things you could possibly expect. It even looks like it goes back a bit further. Let me just see.
It's a TIE
Armand's
fighter.
activating. I want it so bad. God, I want that. I want that ship so
those wings
so
remind me of
bad.
a TIE fighter for some reason.
Yeah, hang on. I'll just take another screenshot and I'll send you the same ship in the video but a different frame. Just give me a second. Copy that. And if I copy this and send that to Bops, because it just allows me to open it very quickly into Firefox. Yeah, so there you go. You guys can see that one. So yeah, it's also obviously a little longer. It's got some kind of disc thing on the top, but yeah, that is definitely a mole. Now you mention it, they are definitely straight off the mole. Got some kind of weird wings at the back though as well.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I want that ship so bad.
Yeah,
I love these junker ships. They're so cool. They're so cool.
Yes, it is a little bit like
page, Cody.
It is a little bit like a puddle jumper. Now you mention it, yeah, from Stargate.
Saber top.
I thought on that side view it had very TIE Fighter vibes, but you know.
I think the top of it is kind of Saber-esque. Just right said, and I kind of see that now. It might have a little bit of Saber on the back there. On like the top flat, sort of underneath the right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I can't reach to it, but like right here.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like sort of flattens out into Saber.
So let's wait and see. This
cool.
They may never come to the game, right? I just want to point that out. But there are, this was a leaked trailer, but it had the Shiv in it. It had the Mustang time. Look, and most of us thought it was going to be the Mustang thing that came first, but it wasn't. It was the Shiv, and then good luck naming these. By the way, I don't know what you're going to call them, but yeah, it's just really interesting. And I think a lot of people, like, I saw how excited you got, Bops. I saw how excited SA got. And I've seen a lot of people that are very excited by this design aesthetic. And you got to be honest, it really does hit that Tatooine junker type of vibe. And it is something that Drake didn't quite hit on. Like, it was close, but not close enough. And I think this is taking it over the line.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they've kind of done this. Drake wasn't really hitting that vibe. Well, it's the design language is in. So
me and Bops were kind of in agreement, weren't we?
Too.
We were in agreement where essentially Drake seems to be moving more to this all-rounder, no frills manufacturer, like a budget manufacturer, and moved away from how it was originally designed to be more like this. And I think, because if you read up on Magnus and Drake, they essentially are recycling a lot of ships that are there on the planet. So they're just taking other ships and chopping them up, but they don't really seem like that. They don't. This does seem like that.
It changed with the lore team, and positively, by the way. I'm not saying this is a negative, but we had the Buccaneer release, and the Buccaneer is as Drake ever got. But then there was that change. Remember, Drake got a new president of the company who decided that he was going to stop selling to pirates and start to try and actualize them and verify them as like a consistent company throughout the known universes. And we're going to stop selling cutlasses to bad guys and krakens to pirate organizations. We're going to sell cutters to the everyman, and we're going to sell and so we've seen Drake in lore move towards, they're still not the bright shining beacon that something like Argo or Crusader is, but they're now more of the everyman utilitarian, which has left a gap in the ship market for all of these fantastic junker ships. And again, these junker ships will be polarizing in the same way that Drake was once polarizing, right? And probably still is a little bit polarizing. There's people who look at Drake ships and go, I don't want to sit in that hunk of garbage, and this is just taking it a step further. So that polarization is good for the game because it leads to discussion and it allows you to have the extremes. Do you want to be getting around in an 890 jump, or do you want to be getting around in whatever that Aurora is? No, I want to be in that Aurora. Yeah, that's where I want to be.
Someone in chat, I won't name them, was saying that's not a mole, and I'm like, yeah, it's a mole. It's that piece there.
It's the front pieces, like the little front section. If you look at the mole, see the little front pieces over there.
That engine. I reckon it's this bit. I reckon it's this bit. I reckon it's the bit that goes around the laser pod, and where the laser pods sit is where the gun is. Look.
Yeah.
So I just had a thought. So Drake was mad about not being invited to Invictus last year. And they made a comment in lore saying something along the lines of, well, we'll show you. So I wonder if Drake and Grays are going to team up and throw their own convention sometime next year.
Oh, I wonder
the Miride.
What if they, okay, crazy speculation theory time. What if they finally do what we suggested a while ago, Algared, is you essentially successfully took AIE and then directly made Invictus 6 months later? What if they try to duplicate that and put the two in the middle that we talked about?
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Is that and that's probably pure hopium, but
then you could essentially have one patch every 3 months in coordination with the sale.
Yep. It makes sense.
So you could have patch. It wouldn't be Drake DefenseCon anymore. It would just be DefenseCon. And it literally be like everyone that wants to, even RSI and that could come along and like sell to Polaris because that was deliberately pushed to be sold to militia and stuff like that. And then all you would need on the other side is something that's industry related. I think that would be the other side.
Yeah, we're really missing our like an industry set. I've always said that. Like, again, I'm not an industry player, but we've got Fleet Week for all of us combat boys. We've got IAE for the everyman. And I've always thought, like, where's the minor industry convention? Like there should be something
to know where in law the Cargo Olympics actually falls, because that would be that's kind of your industry event, isn't it? Like
I don't think you'd want to call it DefenseCon. My brain is going to something where you need a how do you like, and this is a really hard thing to answer. How do you evenly split up the sales into three? Right, you've essentially got a military-backed one. What are the other two? Like, you don't want another DefenseCon because it's more military-based, right? It's combat-based.
Industry. So, have one that's all about like the economy,
and science.
Yeah, boost up the economy with industry and science. Sell moles, sell prospectors, salvage ships.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the second one. What's the third one?
Well, science. I think science and medical is one area.
That falls under industry, Algared.
And then, well, I break them off. I'd say industry is refining, mining, salvage. Then you got your medical science, and then you got your data running and that type. Then you got your military.
What about first person?
No, they are not making an Elliot con. Shut the right. Elliot is a con, maybe, but not Elliot con. Right? Yeah.
But yeah, what about racing as well? By the way, I've been doing racing lately. Racing is important. But what about like first person content? A chance to try and sell like drop ships and tanks and vehicles and like first person.
Ground is going to be a really, and you could probably roll base building into the ground. So
base building into it as well. Yeah,
you pull that off from industry. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll take our 5% CIG. Thank you.
Then you got people saying farming and drug production.
Peter's literally, Peter's like,
industry
let them make Elliot Con. It would work. Yeah, his mum would be there with like pom poms and right. Ground.
So I think my question for Elliot is, what would Elliot Con feature?
Ground and pound sale. Right.
That would be my question to Elliot. If Elliot Con was a thing, what would it be featuring?
Yeah. What ships would you sell? Right.
So, While we wait for that to see if Elliot does respond to that, the
So
Jocko.
I don't think there needs to be more. Like I think 3 plus Citizencon is the play.
But the problem,
So one industry, one all round, and one military.
so you reckon they just take a big month break from Citizencon to Invictus?
Yeah.
I don't think it works because
Yeah,
a lot of games tend to do 3-month patches. It's really common. I think,
Unfortunately, Elliot, your con is Drake Defense Con.
yeah. So why don't we
Because
just have
if Pure
Defense
Drake
Con?
is done and
I like
a statue of him.
I like the final line. Yeah, the statue of me. It's like,
Yeah,
Drake
yeah,
ships,
yeah.
guns, and me.
Just, why don't we just have a Drake Defense Con 1 year sponsored by Elliot? That'd be great. You know,
Yeah, that's all we need.
If someone's
Yeah.
good at Photoshop and can work quickly, can you please take the
But-
golden Hurston statue and
Yeah.
Photoshop
And turn it into
Elliot's
Elliot.
face onto it for me, please?
but
Pretty please.
do you know in The Simpsons where they always try to censor nudity and stuff? Like they'll have a bush or something like that. The entire Defense Con, though, wherever there's a statue or there's a photo of Elliot, you can never see his face. Like it's always the whole thing. It's just no matter what, he's just like blocked out somehow. Like his hands in front of his face, or it'd be funny as like nobody knows who this guy is. Like it'd just be really funny.
I think Elliot wants to be Jane.
Yeah.
You know, Jane from Serenity.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can we get Elliot modeled as that statue that's in Levski of him holding the child?
Yeah. Yeah, and just
So they're kind of be Koa apparently. So yeah.
yeah. Pete,
Anyway,
Pete will be the child that Elliot holds. No, not Pete. Not Petey. Poor Petey.
Okay, DeJocko has a question.
Yes.
Do you think we're in for any surprises at IAE, or just getting what we already expect?
I think that's a surprise.
I have not enjoyed the sales the last couple of years. They have really pivoted to focus a lot more on new people. That said, though, you know, like I kind of have said a few times today, there has to be things in this game that I don't enjoy, right? But let's be honest, I think a lot of us more veteran backers are more interested in very specific thing, right? So if I've already got my example would be like when everyone had the Vulture, they brought out the Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
No one seemed to really give much of a shit because I already had a Vulture. It's the same type of thing. It's when you bring out a new type of gameplay. You know, they've essentially said you will not be getting concepts anymore. So we will know in advance now. Okay, we've started to work on science gameplay. We would know that now directly constitutes that there has to be another science ship coming. You know, just like we know base building's coming, we have to assume that there are other base builders coming and stuff like that. So, when Bops talks about surprises, no, I'm not going to be surprised when they drop a large salvager or a base builder, because it lines up with things that they've said in the past. What it is, as in the manufacturer, will be surprising to me. But I man, if we don't get some kind of base builder or they literally said, Ben literally sat there and said an orange large salvager.
Yeah.
I have to assume he wouldn't mention that unless it was coming soon.
And
Yeah,
everyone's
I was
just
gonna
assumed
say-
that's
oh,
Argo, but I think that says, and you and I have talked about this as X. We both think it's probably Crusader, not Crusader. Consolidated.
That's why I voted that in the poll, the survey earlier. Sorry, Lemon, go ahead.
So right now there's a huge gap in salvaging. Ever since they redid salvaging, there has to be a salvager coming soon. Whether that's at IAE, who knows? But it's soon. It could be end of the year, but it's soon.
It's also the same in the, so if I go back over here, right, and I just delete these two real quick, delete selected, delete selected, and I'm just going to do this in a real simple way. So if we go Pioneer, right, this behemoth is going to come in, right, and you'll notice it's very orange. then I literally type in nomad. And Elliot can probably back us up here as well if he wants to. It's entirely up to him. But how do you go from a ship so small to one so large, right? And we know this based on the RSI ships. You have to build them out to go through. And so literally we're missing 2 ships in there, right?
And wasn't the Pioneer taken off of the? It was taken off of the what's it called? I can't remember. My brain's. I woke up too early. The projected. What do they call it? Help me out here, guys. Where they show us roadmap. The Pioneer was taken off the roadmap. So they've stopped working on it for now. So that, which is probably because they're working on all the little bits on the way up.
Well, the other part of it is that they probably started work on all 3 of these at roughly the same time, right? So and we also know that one of them is more than likely. Just give me a second. The ship that is in the blue silhouettes. Which is, I always miss this one because it's harder to tell at a distance. I got a thumbnail. Sorry, these guys can see what I'm doing, but you boys on thing cannot. So if I open with and bang, so this ship here is more than likely the medium from this lineup, and therefore that would leave us a large. Now they specifically said an orange large. I cannot get over that being large and orange as well. If you were going to because again, as soon as you say orange, right, the thing that most people think of is like the mole and the Argo and stuff, right? Now this is a medium orange, which would be the same size as this, but you get my point. The point I'm trying to make is most people think orange and they think Argo. I think it was a deliberate misdirect because they would have said Argo. They wouldn't have just said orange, they would have said Argo. The fact that they said orange tells me that it was a misdirect.
To play devil's advocate, just for the sake of it, the Argo lineup needs to be filled out as well. So it could very well be an Argo ship as well.
Yeah,
I'm more inclined to agree with you though. Just to be clear, I think it's probably more likely CO, but it could just be another Argo to try and stretch out that Argo lineup. They're the industry guys. A salvager fits with them, so it very well could be.
Same here though. These guys are industry as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, like to get some variety out in that industry. And we know they're trying to get to the Pioneer. We don't know anything about trying to get to a capital ship from Argo.
Yeah, the thing is, we know they want to get the Pioneer out, and so building up that range gives you that. Does it change things in terms of whether the orange ship is an Argo ship? No, but it just reduces that line or progression of getting to that Pioneer. I think if it's an Argo ship, the Pioneer gets delayed.
Wait, does the Pioneer have the words "no view" written on it?
It's Sinu. It's Dominated Outland is what it stands for in short. But but long story short, I get this every time we bring this up. People go, "It's red." No, it's freaking orange, or you're colorblind. And yes, there are a lot of men that are colorblind. I'm sorry you find out this way, but if you think that is red,
color in the middle. Then, if the outsides are red, what's the color in the middle?
What?
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 I just feel an idiot.
So I've been saying this since the raft got changed. I think that if it is Argo, I think it's just going to be a modified raft because the raft would make a perfect salvager.
I think they would go further than that. I think they would make something. They don't seem to corners that way. It might be started with the raft or something like that, or raft-esque, but I think they tend to go a bit further with those
because things aren't normally changed for no reason ever in Star Citizen. It's because they're looking at something. It's because they're doing something, and the raft change was completely unforced. We've seen no reason for that change.
It was.
And I think
I can actually counter that completely. The whole reason it was countered was the hulls don't need to unload with cranes anymore. They unload onto the cargo walls. That's why the raft disappeared or got changed.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Oh, but the raft was never
the raft. Yes, it was. It was 100% They have a terminal at the back that literally said operator. It was a named operator console. It was designed for operating the crane at the back. When the ship came out, it carried exactly 332 SU cargo containers. That's exactly what the whole seat carried. You could see that it expanded out. It had all this extra geometry to expand out into a sky crane. It's exactly what it was. And if you can't see it, that's okay. But that's 100% what it was. It was a sky crane. One person to move it and one person to fly. That's why it had 2 people on it. It was 100% what that was. Why would you have a ship that only carries 32 SU cargo containers? Only. That's all it carries. It didn't carry. Remember, it never carried smaller cargo boxes.
Yeah, I mean for efficiency, but it's fine. Again, they don't change stuff unless it's being looked at.
And again, the whole C doesn't require it anymore, and that's why it changed.
I think it falls into the same category as the Apollo's Shepherd drones. They're not needed anymore at present because tractors do the same job.
Yep.
And so the same rationale was used.
Yeah. They figured that unloading and loading with tractor beams was just far more efficient than having a sky crane that seemed to move it twice and was a lot more manual. And look
at the effect it's had on like the raft. Obviously, the C2 and the Hull series move more, but there is no freighter that is as easy to use and just as palatable. As someone who cannot stand looking at boxes for more than 10 minutes, the raft is the only freighter that I can walk towards and actually engage with and have a great time. It just locks on, it locks off. It's just wonderful.
Algared, you're gonna have to put a mask on. He's getting offended by your box head. Come on, you have to put it.
What can I say?
Yeah. Well, you normally say God only made so many perfect heads. That's what you normally say.
Yeah, that's right. He did. The rest you put hair on. All right. Solomon says, do you think we'll be able to mount Vandal weapons looted from destroyed Vandal ship raids and mount them to Stinger, for example? Certainly, I would imagine on the Scythe and Blade and Glaive, because you can swap the guns on the Blade and the Scythe already. They have said that the Stinger the size 5 is kind of baked in, so it's bespoke. I would love to see them down the track be able to swap size 5 Vandal weapons for size 5 Vandal weapons, but at the moment that's not a thing. Anyone want to add to that?
As it currently stands, pretty much all of the bespoke alien guns are connected only to the alien ship that they're from. So if you take the guns off of a Santok, or at least last time I checked, they can only be put back onto a Santok. If you take the tachyons off of the Crab, you can only put them back onto the Crab. I would expect it just following form. If you can maybe loot some guns off of the Vandal ships that aren't integral to the structure. So, for example, the Glaive has the integrally structured wing guns. You just mentioned the Stinger has the integrally structured shoulder gun. They're there. You're not going to be able to pull them out. I don't think so. But I think that pretty much all the other guns that are able to be removed, that aren't structurally integral, will be able to be pulled off and put onto other Vandal ships initially. Probably not anything that's not Vandal.
I used to take these size 5s off a Scythe and the Glaive and swap them, so I had the same pips on each ship that I was using. But whether that's still a thing, I don't know. I haven't flown them for a long time.
All right, we're actually 40 minutes over time now. I totally lost track of time. We've still got like almost a whole page of questions to go, but we're going to just have to call it there because we had many other things. We've got to do the Apollo giveaway before we leave.
We do.
So I've got to.
Well, I might get out of here for now then.
Yeah. So and that's perfect. Yeah. So if you want to get out of here, and just send me a message on Discord when you're ready, and we'll raid over to you. So everyone say goodbye to Bops. We'll be raiding him.
Thanks for having me, guys. As usual, absolute pleasure. You guys rock. I'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you shortly. Bye bye.
Ciao, mate.
All right. So he's out of here. I've just got to go into the YouTuberini, and go to the comments on that video. It'll be that one. And I'm going to comments, And so I'm going to scroll down and I've got to set this to sort by published. No, is it filtered? Public subscribers. All right. And then I got to scroll down and get them all. I'll bring you guys over so you can see I'm not doing anything dodgy. So do you want to tell people what they're winning, Algared, and how we upgraded it?
So this is the for our Apollo giveaway. CIG were gracious and gave us an Apollo triage.
And we said, stuff that! That's not good enough!
And we basically said, everyone else is doing that. No, we're going to up the ante. So we've upgraded this to a Medivac. So this is an Apollo Medivac. Complements of the base complements of CIG and upgraded by us. And if you have signed up to be here and you're a visible subscribed member and you're in our stream at the present and you're drawn out, you will actually also get the privilege of having a skin added to that as well.
Gotta delete these last numbers. What was it? 130, 134. So delete all those. 134. Bang. Right, we've got a wheel with 134 things on it. Spin.
So good luck.
$105. Okay, so I'll go from the bottom. So 132.
While you count that, I'll do a couple of the other questions that came in. So Ash Hole had a question: when we finally fight Vandal ships in next, do you think we'll be able to strip them for parts and stuff? Yeah, I expect that. I expect we'll be able to salvage them as well. Daft Zippo, I posted a comment, not actually a question, actually a question. What are your thoughts on, that's something that takes a bit more time to do. That's an insult.
Was it 104?
105, you said.
All right, so it's the real Freakeros 9 days ago. 105? 105. So it's real, it's this guy here, the real Freakeros. Congratulate. Are you in chat?
If
you're in chat, you get a skin. If you're not, you don't.
When you've built your Corvette in No Man's Sky at Luna Maria, I'd love to see it.
What is it? Medivac. Medivac. This is riveting stuff, Algared.
Yep.
Riveting stuff.
I was just trying to make sense of the question, and I can't do it in the stream at the moment. It's
any chance?
I'll skip that. We'll move back.
Did anyone see him in chat at all? The real Freakeros? I
can't say I did.
I've never seen that person before, so I'd say he's a fairly new person. It's not a name I recognise. So
no, not one I recognised either. So
yeah,
but congrats to that person.
Yep, congrats, and I hope you enjoy that. We'll get that off to you ASAP. Right. Oh shit! I hit the wrong button. See, I got so used to the other button now. I've done that. Right. Let's see if Bops is up yet. I'll do a quick refresh. He is up and running. All right. Here we go. He's just playing music right now, though.
Yep.
Oh. All right. I'll ask him. Are you there? All right. I assume he's going to be there shortly. He's probably on the bathroom getting a drink.
Yep.
Now, technically, we don't have to do an episode this weekend because we've already done it.
Nope.
And that'll be the Shiv that we showed off earlier. But we could also just do one for the bank if you want. But we'll have a talk about that in a minute after stream. Is there anything else you want to add?
I'll just say a comment from Zippo. He's just made a comment. He said he'd love to hear our comments on his thoughts. I'll highlight that because we might come back to that, and that could possibly be something we deal with at a future point.
Yeah. Well, again, just
So-
Zippo, just reach out to Algared and myself. Shoot us a Discord message. We like to.
Yep.
We're both very approachable, so yeah, feel free. It's not like bombard us with heaps of questions, but if you've got something that you really want to hear, we'll also make a time to talk to with you in voice or something like that if you want to do that as well. So yeah. All right. I don't have anyone that we can raid on the YouTubes, but we do have Bops here on Twitch. So I will.
So if you're on YouTube, jump onto Twitch and go and watch Bops.
Yeah, give him show him some love.
Give him some love.
He's all about he does like teaching people P versus P and stuff like that. But I think first and foremost they just enjoy having a laugh and fun. You'll definitely be entertained.
Yep.
I go over there and crack a lot of jokes with him over there as well. So
I've lurked on his channel for a while.
Yep.
But when Expert dragged me over and said, "Oh, we're going to do this guy," and he comes on and says, "Oh, I've watched his stuff." But yeah, so it is quite it can be quite a relaxing channel to watch at times. So that sounds a bit weird.
So also when you get over there, ask Bops about why there's already too many medium fighters in the game. I'll be listening, right? Because he hates that. He wants there to be more medium fighters. So you ask him, why is there too many medium fighters?
And why the Shiv is so bad.
Yeah, and why is it a pilot of Shiv? Yeah. All right. Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, say goodbye to Twitch. We'll be watching you. All right. Have a good week. Bye. And off they go. All right, let's have a listen.
And they're gone.
What are we feeling today, guys?
Here he goes.
Might go back to Stanton and go hunting for a little bit and go from there. Is there something in particular you guys want to see me run?
Come on, kill me, I'm here. Come on.
Your choice.
No,
Oh yeah, there's the info raid. Inforunners! Shout out.
Inforunners just raided with 131 cuties.
And he calls them cuties as well.
Inforunners. Thank you, Inforunners. Hey, appreciate you. Someone else already shouted them out before I could even get that. Thank you to my mods as well.
What's wrong with me? Why can't I
Guys,
feel?
welcome. Thank you for listening to me yap with the Inforunners. They are amazing. Hey, guys.
What's wrong with me? Why can't I
look at all those
feel?
follows. Holy moly.
I think I'm blushing.
Guys, you should know if you're following
I'm used to the phrase.
Why can't I feel?
Right.
Get involved
Yeah.
with the Paladin giveaway.
You got
Oh,
all
he-
excited when he called you a cutie.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But he is giving away a Paladin as well. All you have to do is go over there and watch, and he's giving away a Paladin as well. So yeah,
Yes, pin that.
highly recommend.
What's wrong with me?
All
Why
right.
can't I feel?
Thank you for joining us, Piggles and Lemming. Appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Let me mute this real
Yeah,
quick.
definitely enjoyed that.
This one.
You can tell we enjoyed it because it just kept
Going.
going.
Yeah. So yeah.
Um,
All right. Well, let us know your thoughts below in the comments below what you thought of Bops as well, because he's Australian, so it's very easy for us to bring him along. I think I'm gonna bring him along for more content. So let's see. What you
Course,
think.
yeah.
Anything you want to add, Algared, before we sign off?
Nope.
No. All right. I'll
Nope.
do the usual. Don't
like,
forget to
subscribe.
ring the notification bell.
Hit the
Thank you to
bell.
everyone that went the extra mile on Patreon at the end of the video. All right.
Always appreciated, never demanded or expected, but wow, it makes us feel good.
And again, thanks for helping Algared out with the GPU. He will
Indeed.
be giving us a full written report with a whiteboard presentation next week.
12,000 words.
Arrows, 1,000 words, pictures, photographs, video slides, everything. There'll be a test.
That's worse than homework.
Yep, there'll be a test. We'll be checking on your graphics drivers, everything. You'll be in for no. Just let us know how it goes. I'm sure you're going to get in there and wow, this is what the game was actually meant to be. Like, yeah, I think you'll be impressed. So we'll see how it goes there.
Yeah, it'll
Alright.
be interesting to see how much frame rate can cope or go up. So yeah.
I think you'll get a noticeable kick in the pants. I think you're going to be.
Well, given the
As it was-
120, was it 120 or 130% increase? That
What was it? What was your
we
frame?
looked at before?
What was your frame rate? Just a ballpark.
20 or 30
you're
on
gonna
average.
go to like 60, 70 without even
Right.
blinking. Yeah. And then as they bring in the new Vulcan improvements, they really favor the new low end cards, so you'll get an even more of a kick when that comes out as well. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Plus, it is really CPU limited these days anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. So he's got a good CPU. He what do you got? A 5090, wasn't it? No, a 59X or whatever it was. I think it was when we got that.
What's that?
What
Oh,
was
the
the-
CPU.
what was the
I can't
CPU?
remember.
Yeah, something like that. It was
I
like
can't
a
remember. It was-
5900X, I think it was at the time.
It was a step down from. Wasn't basically the.
I thought it was a step above my old one. Is what I remember. I think it was a
step
59.
down from
The top one.
step down from the.
Yeah, the top one was the 5950,
ones,
and you got
yeah.
the 59. Yeah, you get the 5900X. Yeah, which is more than sufficient if you guys know about the game.
Yeah.
All right, with that then, thanks everyone for this week. It was a really great time. He's been Algared.
He's been Execute, and we're out of here. Take care.
See you, citizens. Have a good week.
Bye.
Yeah, say goodbye, Pickles. Don't.
Bye. Bye, Pickles.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
You
I asked for it.
You know,
Yeah, I
you
asked
did.
for it.
You asked for it.
it's
Second,
my
you
fault.
said don't.
Yeah, I know.